Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Hope everyone is having a fine Friday and very, very happy Mercury direct. I know I'm doing the happy dance, which, haha, Mars rules movement of the body. So, yay, I'm right on time. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Yeah, basically, what we're going to start out with is a reading about Mercury going direct and just everything we need to know about that. My hair is a little cray cray today. I did my workout and I was all over the carpet. It's totally frizzed out. My apologies. I'm just like, you know what? Instead of caring too much what I look like today, I just wanted to see you guys face to face or, as face to face as we can get instead of just filming the tabletop. So, that's what we're doing. Yeah, I feel like we need to be face to face for this Mars to really just start moving forward. Hi, Vicky. Yes, and we already have one donation from Vicky for a one card read. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna write that out here on our donation list. Vicky. Right. So, and Amber is here as well. Welcome, Amber. I hope you're having a fine Friday as well. So, yeah, we've got a couple decks that I pulled intuitively over there. We used a different tarot deck on Wednesday than we're going to be using today. I was just really drawn to the Modern Witch for our collective and just, well, there we go. Anything else we need that resonates for anyone's topic, we will go to Modern Witch. But then the Fountain Tarot was really calling my name. Ooh, look, Ace of Pentacles is on the back. I love it. But this is such a different take on just the regular traditional Rider-Waite depictions. So sometimes it's fun to bring a little of that in the mix. And then what's the name of this one again? I always forget. The Divine Energy Oracle. And I have not used this one in, it's probably, I'm seeing 8 months. Maybe that's how long it's been. I don't know. In Pick a Cards, in the live streams. It's been a long time, but this one's cool. It gives you kind of like, you can really even ask this one yes or no questions, but it's got a lot of words of advice and wisdom within it as well. So I've cleared that. We're ready to use that for our Mars direct. I almost want to say Mars retrograde. I'm like, no more of that. It might still feel a little retrograde for most of us for about another week, even though it is direct now, because it's basically stopped to then go back or to go forward in its regular motion. Although we all know it's like that car analogy I used on the last live stream that no planet actually just stops and then switches direction. That's not how it is. It's just, if you're in a car driving faster, us as Earth doing our orbit, and maybe a planet is a little faster than us or a little slower than us, it can appear at certain times in the cycle that certain planets, if they're on a more elliptical kind of path, I guess, can appear almost to go backwards. But at the same time, when that's the case, they are appearing also closer to the Earth. So those of you that do sky watching, which I would highly recommend, it's so fun, would see that big bright red Martian energy in the sign of, or the constellation of Taurus. If you just look up in the sky, you can see it right there. And Orion's belt is just off to the side, and the star Sirius. It's such a magical thing to see, which in where I live, it's really easy to see. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got them on 2 different tracks. I don't know. I tried to get them both the same color and it just wouldn't work. Like, all right, I guess we'll do light pink and then more magenta, and I'll just roll with it. It goes with my shirt today. But yeah, like I was saying, when you look up in the sky, you see Mars there. And for where I'm at in the northern hemisphere, it's usually overcast. I would say we maybe get, I don't know, 8 to 10 clear nights every month or so. In the winter, usually it's more overcast, and then you got the sky glow kind of light pollution thing going on, just overcast looking, can't even see the moon most times. But those really clear nights, we maybe get anywhere from 8 to 10 of those a month if we're lucky around here, and it's so cool to actually see. But yeah, you can clearly see Mars as that red planet in the sign of Taurus when you look up in the sky. So that's where we're reading this as picking up in Taurus. I'm not sure if it's in Taurus in Western astrology, but Western astrology uses a different, I guess, calculation for the planets. It's not where they actually are real time when you look in the sky. But that's why I personally follow Vedic astrology. Of course, if you follow Western astrology, which it still does resonate, like my Western astrology chart resonates quite a bit with me, but I think that's mostly because a lot of my planets are, like my Libra ascendant is also a Libra ascendant in Western astrology, and my Taurus Mercury is also a Taurus Mercury in Western astrology, and I think I have a couple other, my Venus is also in Pisces in both. So I think that's maybe why my Western chart really resonates with me for the most part. But other people, they say their Western chart resonates more than their Vedic chart, but then other people other way around. So if you haven't looked into your Vedic chart, it's worth a shot because that really is, if there is anything as a soul blueprint or, the I guess you want to call it like a cap that is put on your, I guess experience or potential in the matrix. Because I'm not even personally sure if the planetary alignments are a matrix construct or if that's more of a divine construct. But one thing I did get intuitively is that the moon is not an organic planet or an organic, whatever we want to call it. It was brought in. And Venus was our original feminine energy of what the moon now represents, sun and moon. Venus was more the moon energy, but the moon was brought in to replace that. That really resonates strongly with me. And even the construct of, I've been diving deep, you guys, it's been crazy. But even the construct of having a soul might be a matrix construct. I'm not saying we don't have something that is a fractal of source. I'm calling that more our spirit. I know, confusing, but sometimes when we use these words that we learn and then we regurgitate and they've been passed down, regurgitated, we put a lot of meaning on them. And, a lot of times maybe the original meaning or what they're actually representing, and then we're saying, I want more of that. We're almost putting ourselves in a box or closing ourselves off into the matrix. So I'm basically setting intentions with everything I do these days, which you guys know I've been talking about it nonstop, ad nauseum. But one of the things I do is I put those intentions out there that any word that is limiting my highest potential, my, that spark of me that is connected to the organic, original, true source creator, anything, any verbiage that I use or any words or any, matrix systems or constructs that hinder my ability to connect, null and void. I've written a lot of directives or like subliminals. And I don't know if you guys would be interested in me releasing some of these subliminals. It'd probably just be at like a minimal cost of like, I don't know, anywhere from $5 to $8 per each one. But, you could tailor these each way. And I was thinking a lot about releasing some, really low cost meditations and subliminals that are, really getting us to connect to the true source, because so much of what is out there on YouTube, we don't know. We don't know what the creator of those has intended for. Is it connecting us directly to the matrix and keeping us stuck in that loop, or is it, bypassing that matrix loop and putting us to our true connection where we originally come from? And that's my intention with every reading, every subliminal, every meditation I create. And I create these things kind of, my own readings, you guys see a lot of that, but my subliminals, my meditations that I create just for my own personal use, I'm thinking of like maybe upping my microphone game and the production value on those, and maybe possibly putting those up for you guys if you would like to purchase them at a very low cost. Because here's another thing with this whole thing is, when we get something for free, it could be resonate, it could be great. But a lot of times when we give that energy exchange, we pay money or attention, or, let's just say for this example, we pay a small amount of money for a service. What happens with that is that's letting, the matrix and beyond know that we're serious about whatever this is, that we want to utilize it for our highest good. So yeah, the whole thing, calling money currency is very fitting because it is a form of energy exchange. So, and me as that person who wants to just give everyone everything for free, that's not benefiting you or me to do that. So usually when someone pays for a reading, it's way more in depth, it's way more profound than one that's for free. And a lot of times if you do get a free reading that's very profound, very in depth, and it just touches you in a deeper way, a lot of times people that get readings like that just down my pick a cards or something, they will then send a donation, and it goes both ways. So many people will send that donation and then their life just benefits so much, and I benefit a little bit too, and it's like a win-win for everybody. And I'm just coming to these major realizations that me trying to run myself into the ground and giving things away for like so cheap and free a lot of times isn't serving either of us in the exchange at all. And that was like a big whoa moment for me, because a lot of times in the, I would call it the matrix construct of the spiritual community, or the new age movement is probably the easiest way to label that, and people know what you're talking about, is that we have to give our healing away for free, give our light away for free, do everything for free. And it doesn't really work that way. So I'm learning these major hard lessons right along with everybody, but I think it's very fitting. I did not plan to talk about any of this, but Mars going direct, it's like we gotta put the rubber to the road. We need to get down to business and start working toward our goals. And if my ultimate goal is to help as many people on this planet, it's 11:11 on my clock. If my ultimate goal is to reach as many people as possible from this true, authentic, place within me, to help as many people tune into that true, authentic place within them, I'm gonna have to get serious about it. And the energy exchange is a really big part of that. Yeah, I've been really thinking about my finances and the fact that, I've talked about it here or there. Outside of our house payment, which is in my husband's name, like I don't even think I appear to have a credit score. Like I have no idea what my credit score would be. I don't participate in any kind of like investments or financial stuff because, going kind of backwards to the way that my mom lived, we were living a lot paycheck to paycheck, or, put one credit card balance on another to keep going, keep going. And I knew from a very young age, I did not want to participate in any of that. But at the same time, I'm realizing I kind of got to grow up a little bit. I'm 40 years old. It's time to, you kind of have to play by certain rules to participate, but you can bend those rules, legally. We're not talking illegal stuff at all, but I'm talking energetically. We can use the systems that are in place and then energetically put our own, kind of spin on it, I guess we could say. So I'm trying to get myself figured out with my whole credit score and financial stuff, because, it's like my husband, he's been the breadwinner. He's been like the one to pay the mortgage. And, my little bit of income that I don't save for my mom for her house, it's just kind of, there. It's just sitting there. And I don't know what to do with it. I'm not really a spender myself. I'll buy a little thing here or there, but even just growing up with that major lack mentality with money, like, okay, I can't spend, I gotta save, I gotta save. It's like, yeah, I do need to save, but like I do also need to use that money as wisely as I can. And that might just involve me having to, get into the financial system just a bit and figure out what the heck I'm doing. Anyone else? No, just me, just me. Oh, yeah. Oh, is a sign of Cancer controlled by the moon? Is that why we're so moody, given it's not a true construct? Right? Yeah. And in Western astrology, my moon and my North Node are both in the sign of Cancer. And in, the grand scheme of like your midheaven and how people view you that don't know you personally, but that are, like people on the internet. Not to say, I would say we have a better rapport than most people on the internet, you that come to my live stream, but just people out in the world that view you. Your midheaven is kind of how they see you, or how they expect you to be, or who they just see you showing up in the world as. And I have a Cancer midheaven. So, I mean, yeah. But at the same time, to me, the moon and the sign of Cancer, there's something very Venusian, even if it's just an underlying thing, because we all know Venus rules, well, at least most of us know, I think by now, Venus rules the sign of Taurus and Libra, which I'm very heavy in both of those things in both Western and Vedic astrology. I've got my Jupiter and my ascendant with Libra, and Pluto is sitting right on my ascendant in Libra. And then in Taurus, in my Western chart, I have my Sun and my Mercury in Taurus. And then in Vedic astrology, I have my, and my, what do you call it? The Chiron, the wounded warrior is also in Taurus. In Western astrology, Vedic astrology, I do have my Mercury there, which I'm currently in the Mercury Mahadasha per the Gemini system of, if you're like, what, is she speaking English? Not really, but kind of. Yeah, I'm in Mercury Mahadasha, so I'm very ruled by Taurus, by Venus, by Mercury right now, and Taurus is my eighth house. So a lot of ups and downs, a lot of financial, like I got to figure out my life. Good thing my husband has like most of the financial stuff like under his belt, and like we're good. But like me just personally as a person, I'm like, I'm so financially codependent. I need to not be that way. You know what I mean? So here's to growing up. Let's make a toast. Here's to growing up in our financial futures, whatever that looks like. It's probably going to be different for each of us. Take a quick drink, and then we're going to get into our Mercury going. Sorry, not Mercury, but Mercury will be going direct, so we'll get a little bit of Mercury going on. Oh, Sati, yeah, that's never fun with Saturn. Doing the thing with your moon. That's always fun. Yeah, mine when the Saturn was actually opposed my moon, it was very difficult as well. And Saturn's been transiting my eighth house from my moon, so it's almost like another Sati for me this past 2.5 years. It's been difficult. So Amber, I'm right there with you. I feel you, girl. It's not easy. Oh, you're in Mercury Mahadasha as well. Yes. It's great, but like Mercury, we all know it goes retrograde more than any other planet that can go retrograde. So it's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and then ups again, and then downs again. All right. Sorry, guys, if you can hear that weird slurping sound, that's just my water bottle. It's like if I drink slower, it's not as loud. So there we go. Yeah, it's retrograde right now. So like I'm all over the place with my speech. My electronics have been failing left and right. Even the pick a card that went up on Harmony Portal Tarot today, I mixed up groups 1 and 3, but someone commented saying, I actually watched them in the order that you filmed them in, and wow, it was probably way more profound than if I had filmed them the right way. So, I just take it as it comes, because sometimes our best laid plans can go completely upside down and actually work out pretty well for us. So let's feel in specifically to Mars going direct, and then a little hint of Mercury going direct. We'll probably do a more in-depth part of Mercury next week, although it'll already be direct by the time I'm live again. But yes, look at this. Mars going direct. Aries energy, Mars, the Emperor. Yes. So things will be moving forward very quickly, but there's a big but when the devil comes in. But that sounded kind of gross, didn't it? Devil has a big butt. Sorry, I'm just in one of those moods today, guys. But yeah, with the devil energy, this is us finally, so many of us having the willpower to get back on combating some of our negative thought patterns, our lack mentalities, basically the whole setting of the stage that we talked about earlier, just feeling that financial lack in my life and just needing to get my big girl panties on about my like financial life, So this is us finally coming to terms with some bad habits, some addictions, some temptations, the things that we know really aren't good for us. We're putting them, yes, they are front and center, but we're not allowing them to dictate our lives anymore. Instead, we're taking control of our addictions, our lacks, our limiting beliefs, whatever this could be, our temptations, hanging out with people that we know aren't good for us. And with the Knight of Wands being as the support with this Emperor here, both fiery energies, by the way. So there's a lot of fire pent up with this Mars. There's very Capricorn here with the devil, and Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn per Vedic astrology. That means it's its highest point. It loves being in Capricorn. It's not in Capricorn right now, but it is in a different earth sign of Taurus per Vedic astrology, possibly Western. I haven't looked into the exact placements. I think it's actually in Gemini in Western astrology, but we're all feeling that Taurus Mars. At least I know I am. But this is actually such a good support for us to overcome and be able to ground new habits to replace the old habits, new beliefs that are not limiting us to replace the limiting beliefs. And one of the best ways you can do that is with subliminals. That's one thing I'm really working on in my own life, is just recording my own subliminals to re-brainwash myself in a good way or reprogram myself. Because when we're in any kind of matrix construct, we need a program running. It's just most of us are running on that 3D inorganic false light matrix of the 3D. and awakening from that 3D and going right into the false light matrix of the false 5D matrix that they keep talking about, this big ascension and everybody's raising in consciousness, which yes, they are, but they're ready for that. Astrologically, they already knew this was coming. They know the different yugas and the different eras. They knew this was coming. The ages, the different ages, the age of Aquarius, they knew it was coming. So they prepared well in advance with the whole New Age movement. We'll welcome you with open arms to our yet another false light matrix of the 5D. I'm not saying the 5D ascension isn't a thing. I just don't know for sure if it is, like on a true organic level. I know at the very least, though, our consciousness has no choice but to elevate in these cosmic energies. I don't know if that looks like us going to a whole new earth or going off planet. Like, I don't know. So I'm not going to be that guy on here that says, love and light, everybody's going to new earth, because I don't know. I don't know that. But when we first awaken and we hear all this, and it lights us up, because we all know we incarnated for something greater than just playing in the matrix, playing in the systems that are already here. But so many of us fall into that new age or new cage or new age trap because it was just waiting for us. I mean, just open arms waiting for us. So it's not our fault if we had played in that at all, because it's probably the most natural thing for us to do when it's just so right there when we awaken. But that all being said, once you awaken from the awakening, awakening from the awakening, that's when you can really put your power into motion to make something happen. So that's what we're really kind of collectively, those that have already woken up, I guess you could say, and are now starting to wake up from the awakening. I know it sounds very confusing. This might be something that you're just like, I don't know, she's confusing me. But if anything, this might just plant that little seed of truth or that little nugget of inspiration that one day down the road, this will make a little more sense, because I could look back on all the little nuggets that were placed in my awareness. I'd say these things like, yeah, we're ascending, we're doing this, we're doing that. And it felt so good on a deeper level. But it's like part of me didn't know that there were certain untruths. Of course, there's a major truth buried in a lot of lies. But yeah, then we have the 6 of Cups. So this is us with this Mars turning direct, really being able to heal from the past. And specifically with this combination here, anything that happened in our childhood or past lives where we were, bound, or, our power was taken away in some way, we were persecuted, we were laughed at, we were trampled on in any way, we're facing these. Or maybe so many of us have been facing these during Mercury being retrograde, and now's the time to let certain things go once and for all. All right, let's see anything else we need to know about Mars going direct. Anything else? All right, so we have here, ask with sincerity and count your blessings. So this is us asking, and I would even cross that out and saying telling, telling the universe what you want, what your intentions are, setting really amazing intentions from that spark of your inner self that is directly connected to source, God, creator. And a lot of, even calling the source or the creator, even calling that construct or that person or that energy God, can be very triggering for certain people, because that term God has been so, just like, I guess the best word is bastardized, or, turned upside down, inverted, and made to look like this scary figure that's going to punish you and, damn you for eternity if you don't do all the right things. And that's just not what I've tuned in to discover. Yes, we can be our own kind of God, judging ourselves when we go to the other side, and we can, you will see these people that have these near-death experiences that experience a hellscape. But then you'll see other people that experience Jesus or Buddha or, Krishna or, any God out there, any ascended master out there. But a lot of times, just like when we're in the human meat suit, as we say, we will still have that aspect of us that isn't all-knowing, isn't omniscient, isn't completely self-actualized and back at one with the source. So whatever we believe upon our death is what we're going to experience upon our death. And that's one thing I've learned very clearly. I don't know what the truth of all of it is. I just know that so many people will experience what they really do believe in this life after death. But that's the one kind of caveat I have to that statement though, is those that believe there is nothing when you die, they will experience something. I don't know exactly what they're going to experience, but they'll definitely just not experience not existing at all because that's not possible. All right. So yeah, and we're counting our blessings. So I think so many of us are already doing, the what's this called? I don't remember. I'm not Catholic. Well, my dad's family was, but I never participated. Is that's not like a Hail Mary, is it? I don't know. I don't know much about that kind of stuff. But we're like doing the prayer hands and the yes and the just like silent, like excited happiness that Mars is direct. Like take a second to get going again, but once it gets going, it's really going to take us for a good ride. We're going to have that motivation, and that motivation is going to build to help us overcome limiting beliefs and toxicities and things from our childhood, from the past, from past lives, just things that are no longer serving us. We're saying bye, Felicia, and we are kicking them right out the door, which I think for most of us, the things we already know, this is not kicking out the things that we want to experience for the most part. This is kicking out the things, the relationships, the troubles, the issues that we don't want to be in these things anymore. So this Mars going direct is going to be a great time to put some definite endings to things we definitely want ending in our lives. Okay, so hope that resonated for you guys. Collective reading. It went on a little longer than I was wanting, but I don't know. I'm feeling the shift in my own life, and I'm excited about it. I'm ready to just take life by storm. And it's very funny with the whole financial thing I was talking about earlier for my personal life and Mars going direct. Well, Mars is in my 8th house of dealing with finances and aspecting my 2nd house of finance. So it makes a lot of sense to me personally why I'm in this mode now that Mars is direct today. It was just this morning. I'm like, I got to get my financial crap figured out. Cause I've been living like someone who just like saves money in a coffee can for like years. And I need to find better ways to, save the money that is saved and not just have it sitting in a bank account, savings account, not really even doing anything for me. I need to find out about investing and build my credit. I don't know. I just feel the pull to finally put those big girl panties on at age 40, almost 41 at this point, and just figure out my financial life. That's where I'm at. Thank God I'm not like someone who's in massive debt, that I have a pretty clean slate starting point. But sometimes they say having no credit is way worse than having bad credit. So I'm kind of scared there, but I'm not going to let that fear decide what I'm doing. I'm just going to figure it out. No, I think I do have some bit of credit because my grandma actually co-signed on my 2nd car. So I think I got some credits floating around out there somewhere, but up to this point in my entire life, I've never checked my credit score or looked into it. That's how little it's meant to me in my life. Because if I need something, if I need a car, if I need whatever, I'll just pay cash for it. And that's that, I just save until I have the money to buy it, then I buy it. So I've never had a credit card. I don't even know how this stuff works. The only real example I have is just my mom when I was growing up, just seeing how she used credit cards. And I knew I didn't want to do it the same way. No offense, Mom, but I knew I didn't want to live that way for me. So I kind of went so far the opposite way that I'm like, counting quarters, rolling them, putting them in coffee cans like my grandma used to do. All right. Well, that is our collective. And we do have one donation so far, and that might be our only donation today, but we're going to roll with it. And that is Vicky's question. Hi, baby girl. I just did the free reading for everybody. Roth IRA, you pay taxes on the way in, not on the way out. Oh, I like that. One for you and one for your husband. I know he's got all those accounts and stuff. He has all those accounts and, life insurances and all these things, but I don't. Like me personally, I don't. So it's like, I mean, God forbid something happened to him, I wouldn't even know how to pay our power bill. Like that's how out of the financial loop I am with our financial bills and stuff like that. Like that's very embarrassing for me to admit, like on a live stream, but like that's where I'm at right now. So I don't want to be, I guess the best word would be financially codependent. I just don't want to be that guy anymore, And not that I'm not making my own money. I am. It's just sitting there. It's not really going to bills. I got all that nice, good money nest egg for my mom for her house, but as far as just I don't have a lot, but I have a little bit just that I save off of my like mentor sessions, and Patreon was kind of my money, but it's mostly my business's money because I don't pay myself much. You guys are gonna laugh if you know how much I make a month, just me as my salary. It's less than $1,000, way less than $1,000. I'm lucky if I break 300 a month just for my like personal payment out of the business. That's it. So I need to make that $300 work for me in the biggest possible way I can, and maybe try to grow that 300 a month a little bigger. But let's see, a couple months ago it was closer to 200. Yeah. And now that I'm not doing Patreon, it might be closer to 150 this month. So, yeah, I know. But once my mom gets her house stuff figured out, the money that's, I wouldn't say anymore that your donations go to help my mom because they wouldn't be anymore, but they still are for now. And once that's done, then that's what I'm going to do is start. They say that you should pay yourself first. And yeah, I'll do that. 10% of your salary goes into savings, so that'll be good. Most of my salary goes into savings. My $300 or so a month will go into savings because I don't really. I mean, my husband buys the groceries, he pays the bills. Like, I don't really need a lot. And if I do need to go shopping or something, like I'll spend money. But it's usually thrift stores, and like I still live like I'm in poverty. Like the way I spend money, which is probably not good, I can probably figure out something different for myself. I just haven't. That's why this year I think I want to focus on just not still being that poverty mindset for myself, and just wanting to give everything away for free, and just, actually make it an important part of my life, because I think it's important for all of us to be able to support ourselves. And yeah, like Amber wants to do the same, be financially independent. Yeah. And not that I don't love my husband and that he's doing everything he can for our family. I just want to be able to be a player as well. I don't want to be just dependent, or needing someone else to do all of that for me. I want to be a player in the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the raising kids, like, that was my priority when they were really young, and now that my youngest is 8, he's at school all day, and so is my older one, and really, my older one, he's gonna be 12. He's, like, 6 years away from graduating. That blows my mind, but I knew I wanted to be neither of my kids have ever had a babysitter. The only people that weren't family, obviously, like my mom's watched them, my in-laws will watch them, but no one outside of the family has watched my boys, because you don't know what's going on with people, and what you hear, horror stories, and I just couldn't put my child's safety and their autonomy and all of that at risk. It was just a personal decision. I'm not judging anybody that has to do that, or has done that, or wants to do that. You know what I mean? But that was my, full-time job. And then I was a photographer that, again, I just wanted to give everything away for free. So I barely charged anything. And then I was doing, 40 hours a week on one session, making it perfect for, $75, and then I finally raised my rates to like 125. But even that didn't cover my time editing and putting up the gallery and the slideshow and meeting with people. And, it just, again, pricing myself, actually basically paying to work, is kind of how I've set myself up on all different areas of my life. Resonate with everything you're saying. I too feel financially dependent still, and also love thrift stores, anything vintage. Yeah, and I don't mind buying used and vintage because I love it. I love it. I would say probably 80% of my wardrobe is thrift stores, and probably closer to 90% of like home decor and furniture and utensils and dishes that we have, probably 90% of it is from thrift stores. And again, it's not because my husband can't afford it. It's just, when I was setting up the house and shopping for things, that's just where I went. And I love that, but I don't want that to be like a limited, like, oh, I could never pay this much for something, because that basically shows my lack mentality right there. And I don't want to be that guy anymore. I want to still have a choice to shop thrift if I want, but know that if I wanted to spend, like, obviously, buying my camera and stuff like that, I will usually buy brand new because you just never know what you're going to find at a thrift store in that department. And I make the best of what I can with my computers, my cameras and stuff. But yeah, like a lot of home stuff and clothing, and even clothing for my kids. Like they have like dressed to the nines wardrobe from Goodwill at like a tenth of the price you would pay like retail. So, I'm kind of like, why would I spend more money in certain areas when I don't have to? But then when I do need to, splurge on a new camera for my, work and business and stuff, or, whatever it is I'm doing, I've gotten over the years a little more okay doing that. Where in the past I've been like, oh my god, it's gonna set me back so much, and just start doing all the math of how I'm now leading to my downfall because I spent a couple $100 on something. Oh, you do resonate with everything you're saying. Oh yeah, I read that. Oh, Miss Gandalf is saying something. No, 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 you're not alone. Yeah, raising kids, so sweet and kind, spreading her love to all the kids on TikTok. You would do well sharing who you are on TikTok. You would have to put up with the trolls. Yeah, and I don't know, just every time I've tuned in and done muscle testing and just my own intuition about TikTok, I don't know that it's the right place for me. I'm not saying my message wouldn't do well over there. I just, as far as maybe the user end of it, I don't want to be going that direction. Just for me personally to like even just on YouTube with the shorts, I'm like, I think I might have to move my daily messages over to my shorts because the daily messages are actually hurting my pick a card views because they're basically treated as two completely different types of content with the view duration, because the dailies are 5 minutes and under usually, and um the pick a cards can be anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours plus, depending, what how big of that pick a card is. And they're basically two completely, and I had the same mistake over on my Done Creative channel of having the really short intuition test videos and then the long form pick a cards. So I might move. I think that me utilizing the platform that I'm already on and what's there, moving my daily messages over to shorts, and then just making my pick a cards the end all be all of just the video long form content. I think that's probably at least intuitively, I'm feeling that's my best move. But if I'm making shorts, I might as well be putting that on TikTok, right? So maybe I will let you guys will be the first to know if I do that. Yeah, you will be the first to know. Yeah, I recommend doing TikToks or setting up a website, do pre-recorded readings. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and I also want to, sorry, we will get to your guys' readings as well, but since we only have 2 donations, I don't feel too bad taking up a little time, just hanging out and talking with you guys. But yeah, I guess I'm just spilling all my possible potential ideas with you guys and just to see what your feedback would be on it. But as far as I want to set up a website. I already bought the website. Well, my husband did. Again, he's in IT, so he's like the computer guru. So he does all the online stuff for us. But I already have a name for my website, which I'm not going to tell you guys yet because there's nothing on that website yet. But eventually I want to put like my healing services, my meditations, and my subliminal messaging services as well. I'm like really super excited about the subliminals because just the ones I've created for myself. And because that's the thing with subliminals is you want to really intuitively trust the person you're getting the subliminal from. You don't want to just search subliminals on YouTube and just off to the races because we don't know what else is backtracked on that subliminal. And it's best to do your best due diligence if it's someone you really resonate with to get the subliminal that way or to create your own. All you would have to do is record, even just like on your phone, record, some really positive affirmations, and you will turn the volume down to like between 1% and 5% to where you can't even hear it or you could barely hear it. Just anything above 0 but below your conscious mind's interpretation of the words is where you want to put your subliminal track. And then you want to put another track of like some sort of nature sound. I find nature sounds are actually better than like binaural beats because again, binaural beats, a lot of those can be hijacked to actually harvest your energy, which is a whole other rabbit hole that I recently went down. And I just kind of intuitively tuned into my big meditation track list and binaural beat list. And I found about 90% of them were hijacked by dark forces. So I had to do a major clean slate on a lot of people's meditations I listened to and subliminals I was listening to and even binaural beats to just relax to. I had to do a major house cleaning on a lot of that. And that's just trusting my intuition because once I state that intention that I'm only connecting to the true source light, it's like it becomes blaringly and blatantly obvious which ones are posing as false light or pretending to be something they are not. And that setting that intention for my life in every area for everything I do has greatly improved my discernment. That's a big word, two words for me. I couldn't just choose one. I always choose a word of the year. The first word was intentions, which that's been my thing since about September of last year, just really pushing on setting very conscious intentions with everything I do. And then the other word for 2023 I'm selecting as my word of the year is discernment. Just using discernment, even if it's something that I used to trust, tuning in every time. Do I still trust this? Is this still trustworthy? Is this still for my highest good? And if the answer is no, I can't participate anymore. So it's a thing. You feel super, super limited after doing that. But at the same time, the things that you are putting your attention and awareness to are actually for your highest good. So it actually does really work out win-win in the long run, but it's about that devil energy of releasing the things that are actually limiting you. Like these things you thought were helping you are actually capping your consciousness or keeping you in a box, kind of appeasing you. It's giving you enough benefit that you're going to stay stuck there. So subliminal, it means basically below your conscious awareness. So your subconscious mind will pick up these messages. There's a lot of subliminal messages in music, in advertising, in movies, and it basically hijacks, or I guess hijack isn't the right word because it's kind of doing like a backdoor approach to your free will. It's hijacking your free will or basically tripping the system of your free will to subconsciously program you to have false limiting beliefs, to believe you're unworthy, to believe you're not good enough. A lot of this stuff, you're not just born with it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's entities. That should be the real tagline, not Maybelline, but entities. So many of us have been, and it's usually the first 7 years of your life, you're basically set the stage for what you're programmed to. So really children that go again, like that don't have a lot of TV on for the first 7 years of their lives, or, involved in a lot of movies or music and stuff like that, actually are a lot better off as far as the brainwashing and programming than, the rest of them. But once you start watching and listening and putting your basically free will on blast, but that's the thing. We're all in it. We're all in it to win it. We've all been affected. We've all been programmed and brainwashed and dot dot dot. But the good news is we can redo it, or yeah, it's mind blowing. It's absolutely like one of these dark night of the soul epiphanies, like, oh my God, what have I done listening to that artist or watching that movie, or all the oh, I feel really compelled to buy all these things. And it's not even that you need them or want them on a deeper level. It's subconscious programming. And so much of even our personalities are shaped by our programming. And once you unprogram, or I would like to say better, reprogram yourself to something that's actually going to serve you. But that's what these subliminals I'm creating are doing is, and I won't just, throw it out there and be like, trust me, guys, I'm doing what's right for you. I'm going to give you the track that it is, the subliminal track that you can't hear the words, but then I'm going to also give a track that you can hear everything that's being said. So you're not being tricked or duped, or your free will isn't being hijacked to, program you with something even worse. And also I will give a PDF of the printouts that you can even read the affirmations or the subliminals for yourself on a conscious level, because when you can work on a conscious level and subconscious level to reprogram yourself to a better way of thinking and living and being, you're way better off. We all are. So that's kind of my, what's the word? Being like upfront with the subliminals. Because a lot of subliminals you'll buy, you don't know what's being said under that track. You have no idea. It could be something completely nefarious. You just have to trust your own gut on it. But I want to be transparent. That's the word I'm looking for. I want to be completely transparent, giving you the track that will be the subliminal, giving you a track with the video, or the audio up at a volume you can hear, so you know what you're being, programmed to believe. And then the write out of everything that's going on with that. So that's something I want to do. But because that's going to take a lot of time and effort on my part, I will charge just a small fee for it. And if anyone can benefit from it, at least I've done my job, and that's all I need to do. you know. And also meditations. I want really intentional and conscious meditations. And I'm not saying here's a caveat I just want to put out there, or a disclaimer. I'm not saying the people creating these subliminals or the people creating these meditations or these binaural beats are having ill intentions, being the villain, being the bad guy ready to get you. It just could be that they have a lot of entity interference in their field that is hijacking their creations. So I would say probably 90, 95, 99% of these people that have this, heartfelt intention to create something, but don't set the intention to not let it be hijacked, it still gets hijacked, and the negativity and the damage is still done to you and everyone listening to it without the creator's original, intention being put in. I'm not saying all creators out there allow this to happen, but I would say probably 95% of them don't even know that they need to protect and connect directly to source with anything they're doing, and any false light constructs or entities need to go. Check them at the door. But yeah, okay, I've said enough. I could just sit here and talk to you guys about all the epiphanies I've been having, but let's get into Vicky's reading. So 46 minutes I prattled on about all of this, but hopefully, I'm hoping that at least the information I share with you guys is helpful. Oh no, Amber left. Bye, Amber. I hope you have a good day. Aw, you'll just go today. I'm so sleepy and tired. Yeah, big hugs, Amber. I hope you're doing well, getting some rest. Yeah, it's things that once I first awakened, I didn't even think of this. I thought, wow, my consciousness is awakened so much that now this darkness can't get to me anymore. And boy, what a false belief that was. So yeah, it's awakening from the awakening. That's what I'm labeling it. But I'm going to go over to my email and I'm going to read Vicky's question, and then we have another donation come in. So I'm going to update my list here. And then we have Nellie. Nellie has also donated for a 1-card pull. So here we are. So Vicky says, hi, Amanda, hope you're well. I am doing fantastic. Now that Mars is direct, I'm feeling that weight lifted right off my shoulders. Can I have a general message from my true authentic spirit guides, please? Right? Oh, please, anything they would like me to know right now. Well, these two came out as I'm reading your question. Go back to the camera view. Take a quick drink of water and we're going to get into it for you, Vicky. Okay, so look at this. You're learning something about yourself. Maybe you're diving more into your birth chart. Every time this is coming up, especially 2023, because it's the universal year number 7 of self-knowledge, of wisdom, of esoteric information and knowledge, that hidden knowledge, hidden wisdom that is embedded in our very inner selves. So everything we need to know that we think is outside of us, it's actually inside of us. That, spark of us that is connected to the one true source, God, creator, it knows everything and anything we could ever need to know about ourselves, about the world. But very quickly, you're going to be maybe even shifting some of your belief systems about who you are and about how you show up in the world. But even maybe just spending some time alone to journal, to do some introspection about where you see yourself going, what are your goals, what are your wishes, your dreams, your desires. And once you kind of get a baseline of what those goals and desires are, you're going to then be able to start taking some major action on those things. And I almost see this as like a simultaneous energy. It's not like you have to take like 3 months off of your life and just introspect and become a hermit and, not talk to anybody. No, I see it's like you have an epiphany, like, oh, I'm going to try this, write this down, journal about how you feel about that, figure out this goal and the next step on this goal, and then take it. And it's like these are like lockstep together, like both going forward at the same time. So things are moving forward, specifically in 2023 for you. This is just going to be a year of learning about yourself, but also being able to take actions with that new knowledge you have to make your life so much better. And to me, this does feel very purpose-driven, very maybe even career-oriented, but at the very heart of what this message is giving is like your life purpose. What fills your cup? What makes you excited to be a person on this planet? That's the direction you're going. I'm going to go to this deck before we close out. Let's see. Anything else Vicky needs to know from her true source creator and true guides and her inner self? What message does she need to know? Okay, I think we have one here. Ooh, nourish the shadow. And that shadow energy a lot of times is the thing we want to run from. It's the thing we want to lock in the closet and run away and hide from. But with this, it's like you are going within to face the shadow. And I don't think you have to go like deep, deep into the depths of your soul or your spirit to find the shadow. I think any shadow aspects that are ready to be healed or integrated, they're very close at the surface. So anytime you're feeling triggered, basically ask yourself, okay, what is this trigger trying to show me? Even if you don't get a clear, direct answer, sometimes journaling on it and just trying to tune into your guides or your inner self, again, setting your intentions, you're only connecting to the true light. Before you do that, could bring some really great answers. And sometimes not even knowing the answers, but just observing the fact that you're triggered and you're willing to move through the trigger is all you need to do. You don't even need to attach to it and be like, that one time in third grade when this one kid did this one thing and it made me feel this one way. We don't even have to go that deep. It's basically just knowing I'm feeling triggered right now. I'm observing it. I'm allowing it to, for my emotions to feel this trigger or this, feeling or emotion that's coming up for you. Even if you don't know why you're feeling a certain way, we don't have to. And in order to heal something, we don't need to know the what or the why. Sometimes just that we are honoring and observing what's going on and where we are at that moment, just sometimes facing it and just saying, I'm feeling stressed right now. I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. And just allowing that energy to flow, that will be the healing you need. Sometimes we seem like, okay, it seems so simple, but it's not easy. Yeah, true. It's not easy to feel these deeper, darker, sad, depressive emotions. It's not easy for any of us. But when we can honor them, give them the attention they need, because obviously the shadow is asking us to pay attention to it for some reason. Once we can honor that and allow that healing to come in, that's when we heal. It's not some big production and then the fireworks go off and we have to roll up our sleeves and do all this dirty work. Sometimes literally just feeling is the healing. We don't even need to know why we're feeling it, what caused it. We don't need to know any of that. But so, we tend to overcomplicate our healing process a lot of the time. So I feel like any triggers that are coming up for you, Vicky, you're healing them by honoring, just by observing. You're honoring your healing process and learning more about yourself just by observing how you're feeling and allowing yourself to feel how you're feeling. Because a lot of times when we try to push these feelings away or like, I can't deal with this right now, and sometimes we truly can't deal with it in that moment. But I would say don't let a whole day go by before you check back in like, ooh, I was feeling really like on the verge of crying at work. And like, why was that? And just, even if we don't get the why, just tuning back into the energy and just allowing whatever needs to unfold to unfold. So Vicky, if you're feeling triggered in any way, but again, I really liked it. It was letting you know at the beginning of the reading that any introspection you're doing is really going to benefit you, not just on an internal, but on an external level as well. So win-win. You're so welcome. Absolutely. All right, Nellie is next, and then Get to Luck has also donated. Let me just double check we're up to date. All right. Yes. I do believe that we are up to date. Yes, Nellie is next, and then Get to Luck on deck. So I'm going to update my list right quick. I'll be at a short list, so it wouldn't be too difficult to remember. And then one card. Oops, I need a space there. One card. She may have even written that she wasn't going to be here, since I don't think I've seen her. But I will read her comment on PayPal real quick. And then Get to Luck. All right, there is our list. So I'm going to go over to email just to see, because sometimes Nellie has me timestamp. Okay, Nellie. Thanks for the reading on Wednesday. You were very spot on as usual. I've been wanting to ask Jay on a date, something he hasn't been open to for a while. As you know, I'm not sure if if now is the time or if I should wait. Okay, so let's timestamp this just in case Nellie is not here right now. So like 53:50-ish. So 53:50, because I read her question out loud and forgot to timestamp before the question was read. So here we go. Nellie. All right. Okay. So my great-grandmother's name was Nellie. Nellie O'Leary. Oh, there's Nellie. All right. Well, I'll still timestamp it for you. Sometimes it's good to have the timestamp in the comments. If you click on the video or save it to a private playlist, you go right to the comments, and there's usually like 1 or 0 comments on most of my live streams, so it's not hard to find your comment later on. But you can revisit, revisit your readings at a later date just to see if they worked out or if it resonated or what. All right. So Nellie, seeing if she should ask Jay out on a date now and how that will work out. Tune into the now energy first. Would that be a good idea? Okay, so I'm sitting here shuffling upside down. So I don't know if that's a whole bunch fell to the ground. We had the 3 of Pentacles come out in reverse, which is like not collaborating with other people. Oh, thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate that. Oh no, I just put a big chunk of him in upside down. I did not mean to do that. But I want to get the true message that's coming through. 3 of Pentacles coming in upside down might mean that other people are maybe possibly interfering in the connection in some way, whether they're meaning to or not. Kind of, I guess, remains to be seen. But let's shuffle upright and see what needs to come out. For Nellie asking Jay out on a date right now, and what that will mean, or how that will play out for Nellie. Okay, we have the moon, so it's still undecided, and it might just be his kind of confusion or back and forth or just not sure about dating coming out to play. But let's tune into this energy just to see what's going on. But I'm glad the other reading was spot on for you. Let's see. Well, we've got some celebration, gatherings, get-togethers. Even if you're not officially calling it a date, if you still just say, hey, I want to get together and go do this one thing and just see how things go. Because maybe calling it a date would be like triggering for him. Like, oh no, I don't know if I'm ready for that. But just, like, hey, let's go do this one thing, and just calling it an event, or not calling it anything, not labeling it date or anything, but still asking him, hey, you want to go do this thing, and seeing what he says. I think that will take the pressure off of instead calling it a date. And I think you'd have a decently good time. This is like concert vibes, festival vibes, gathering vibes. It's like, even if you 2 are just the only 2 there, like, or together, but there's like a greater amount of people, like an audience, or people, if you're going to like a bar or a restaurant, or a, I don't know, karaoke night. I don't know what you're expecting or wanting to do, but there might be other people around that aren't just like in your circle of just you and Jay, or if you and Jay and a couple other friends. I mean, that could also be a potential here. But if it's just you and him one-on-one, there would maybe be other people around. Yeah, don't label it a date. Yeah. And let him decide what it is. Is it a date? Is it just hanging out? Like, yeah. That way you don't put the pressure on for him, because I think that probably wouldn't work out well just to say, let's date, baby. At least not right now. Just because, just having patience, just allowing things to kind of percolate a little bit. And before he knows it, he's caught feels, right? It's like, it's not like you're trapping to it. Not like that, but like energetically, it's like you're setting the stage for something beautiful. So having the patience, nurturing the connection, nurturing the relationship by doing fun things together, hanging out, spending time together, whatever that looks like, without labeling it as anything. And just, eventually you might just end up him coming to you like, what are we? Are we dating? Are we a thing? He just may completely surprise you by you not putting the pressure on him. But yeah, follow your intuition. The moon, if it's been following you, this is reminding you to follow your intuition. Okay, so let's just see if waiting a while before asking him on a date, whether she calls it a date or not, is in like better alignment for her highest good. Well, we had 6 of Wands, but it came out in reverse. So I would say just asking him now or in the very near future, it's without calling it a date, without labeling it, would be just fine. It wouldn't be any different than asking later. You know what I mean? So you might as well ask now and go have some fun, hang out together, see what happens, But basically this is saying whether you do it now or later, you'll get to hang out. You'll get to go on a date, even if you're not calling it a date or, what have you, but you're still going to be able to hang out and have fun. Let's just see if there's any wisdom or advice for Nellie and Jay on their hanging out together. Words of wisdom or advice. Okay, we have the illusion. Very interesting. Because, you know, the moon can also deal with the illusion. And I always call this in this deck specifically because it's normally a lobster or a crab. I think it's a lobster in the traditional depiction of the Rider-Waite-Smith cards. But here I always call it the creature from the Black Lagoon. So there might still be some illusions kind of in his own mind, because there's in the brain here, in his mind about what this is. So he might think that, oh, we're just friends, but like it's almost like the emotions or the feelings kind of catch up to him, and he's like, I don't know, maybe we're more than friends. Because I think you have a very clear knowing of what you would like this relationship to be, but I think he's still like, it's elusive to him. He doesn't know what he wants this to be or not. And it has really nothing to do with you or, you know, being the right person for him or anything. It's just his own ish. It's his own, not, you know, feelings of unworthiness and what have you that are kind of being the illusion in his life. Let's just get one more because I want to know for Nellie. I want to know anything else she needs to know about this connection between her and Jay. And we had another donation coming in. Nellie and Jay. Yep. Small steps to big accomplishments. There's that slow and steady, just patience energy, which, you know, I think has been a theme with you and Jay for what? At least a year, if not longer, in your relationship, which I'm sure after a while can feel very much like, you know, like what's taking so long? I just want this to be a thing. But also, you know, just those small steps in your relationship and, you know, whether you want to call it a relationship or whatever else you want to call it, it's going to lead to some big accomplishments. Again, whether this leads ultimately to a big romantic, you know, firework in the end, or if it leads to a lifelong soulmate friendship, I guess that remains to be seen. But at the very least, he wants you in his life. That is very clear here. It's just, I think he's unsure of how he wants you in his life, if that makes sense. But he at least definitely wants you in his life. So that goes without saying here, which I think maybe is just more par for the course in this kind of confusing on your end, confusing like, what is this ever going to be a thing? Is it not? And my heart does go out to you, Nellie, because that's got to be a bit frustrating at times. And then at other times you're kind of just rolling with it. But then again, you're like, I guess I just want this to be more. And then it gets frustrating again. So my heart does go out to you, but he's figuring something out. If not very slowly, he's figuring it out eventually. When eventually is, I guess remains to be seen, but it's coming at some point. Absolutely, Vicky, we're here for it. Why not? Go ahead and donate. Hello, Brianna. Welcome, my dear. And Jamie has donated as well. So let's get into Gitaleka's question. And then Jamie has donated after that. And Vicky was talking about donating yet again. So I'm going to update our list right quick, take a drink of water, and get into Gitaleka's reading, which I think she left her question on PayPal, which is awesome. Okay. So Nellie, sorry, I'm backspacing to take Nellie off that list and to add Jamie and Vicky was going to donate here in a moment. So let me copy my updated list and paste it so I'm ready to go. Okay. And thanks for your compliment, Jamie. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just was like, I was explaining to everybody earlier, like I worked out, my hair was a hot mess all over the carpet, got all frizzed out in the back. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to just throw my hat on because that's like my like winter wardrobe pretty much is my hat. And I'll wear my hair in braids a lot just as like a protective hairstyle because a lot of times the low humidity and the cold can really dry my hair out and my skin. But specifically my hair gets really dry. So I will wear it in like protective hairstyles like braids a lot, or I'll put a hat on with braids a lot. So that's just what I do. But today I didn't feel like looking all frumpy, so I just threw it up a little bit and it's doing what it's doing, whatever that is. So I appreciate your compliment. But yeah, let's get into Gitaleka's question. Okay, and I feel like we're moving to the Fountain Tarot for this one. For whatever reason, I never know. I don't question it. I just roll with it. All right, general message and advice for my highest good for Gitaleka. So tuning into Gitaleka's energy, her inner self, her true guides, ancestors, and source. Anything she needs to know for her highest good. All right. Ooh, we have here the Two of Pentacles. Quite possibly there might be a choice or a decision that needs to be made, but for the most part, the Pentacles can, or sorry, the twos in the tarot can more determine just trying to combat confusion, or when it's the Two of Pentacles specifically, combat confusion around where to spend your time, your effort, your attention. Maybe going back and forth between two areas of life that both equally really do need your attention, but maybe one day you really got to go all in at work, and then another day you really got to go all in on, cleaning your house and doing your self-care and, all the other things in life. But let's just see message for Gitaleka's highest good. But there might be a balancing coming to two or more different areas of life, which is good. Balance is good. It's definitely, at least for me, hard to achieve balance and maintain balance. Oh, my hair, I would die in the South, I'm sure, because just the few humid days we tend to have here in the mountains does not look great on me anyway. You have curly hair too. I totally understand. Your hair is straightened in your pick. Oh, nice. Yeah, I used to straighten my hair all the time, which was not good for it. And now I'm just too lazy to straighten it. All right. So let's see. Anything else Gitaleka needs to know for her highest good? Let's figure out what this Two of Pentacles, this balance in her life, is talking about. Could be financial balance, or just the amount of time you're spending at work or working on things, and maybe even feeling a bit run down in, the work front. But I do feel that when you start to balance the work that you're doing at work and the things that you're doing at home, that will lead to some sort of pay increase, or at the very least, it's like your finances are stretching even farther. If it's not like some sort of pay raise or increase, it's just that your finances are seeming to spread farther for yourself. And maybe even too, with this combination, you're trying to figure out, and this was we were talking about finances and Mars now being direct in our collective reading earlier. So if you want to check that out, if you weren't here for it, you can check that out too, because we were talking about finances and stuff. Maybe figuring out, you're wanting to know where to invest your money, or maybe looking to maybe even try to decide between two places to invest your money, or diversify your financial portfolio. Look at me looking like I know what I'm talking about with finances when I actually don't. But that's just the guidance coming through, is diversifying your investments, whatever that looks like for you personally. But let's see, anything else she needs to know about this, or anything else for her highest good. Gitaleka. And we have your Page of Pentacles. Yeah, new financial investment opportunity. Or maybe there's an opportunity that has recently or very soon will come into your awareness that you're wondering, is this too good to be true? This just seems way too good to be true. Let's see if it is, because I can't tell just from this Page of Pentacles in and of itself. I want to say it seems like a good move, but it might take a while to gain some legs to this investment if it is. Yeah, it's going to take a while. This is the Olympic athlete, putting in the effort, the time, the blood, sweat, and tears, but it's going to pay off in the end. So this new investment you might be looking at getting into, this might be still on your horizon. Something that comes along seems maybe too good to be true, and maybe you throw, a little bit at it, not like a whole bunch of money, but you throw a little bit at it just to see what happens, and very slowly it starts to show some progress for you. But then it's like, to me though, there feels like there's a potential for some really long-term stability, where you might even start to invest even more, because you're realizing, yeah, this is a really good thing to be doing. Again, it might be a really slow climb to building, building on itself, but it's more of a less risky investment, if that makes sense. So maybe the payout isn't as huge as something that you have more risk behind, but at the very least you are, you're seeing your money start to accumulate over time. Knight of Wands. And then once it starts to accumulate, and then you maybe put a little more in, then you can start to see it add up even more. But again, this is you. If you don't have like a financial portfolio, like I have no idea what I'm talking about with finances, but this is direct from my inner self, from source, from your inner self, from source. that yeah, diversifying your investments is a really good idea. Maybe even looking or seeking out new opportunities for places to invest that might be a little on the lower risk end, not big risk, investing in really risky, stocks or anything like that. This to me feels like a lot lower of a risk that might take a little longer to start gaining some momentum and making you money, but it's worth it in the end because it's stable and secure for years to come. Wow, cool, cool. Let's just see any additional guidance or information about this or just anything else that needs to be said for Get to Leka. All right. Prayer answered with the number 12. So yesterday was the 12th. I don't know if yesterday there was a prayer answered for you, or maybe this is even oh, you're actually seeking information for pension plans. Well, that might be why it seemed really long term, like going the distance. And usually that light at the end of the tunnel I would see for, that would be like retirement. So that makes a lot of sense, that it's low risk. Not all retirement accounts, as far as I know, and pension plans are low risk, but finding one that's lower risk that might take a little longer to accrue some meat with it, right? But in the long term, it's still going to serve you, and you're going to be able to invest more and more into it as the years go by. I think that's right on with you wanting to seek that out. And I do see you being the one to initiate and seek that out with that page of pentacles that we had. Where'd it go? Did I put it back? There it is. It's sitting right there on the top. Yeah, you might be the one seeking this out, or you hear about it and then you got to go do some research about it or something like that. But whatever it is you've been thinking about, and this could even be an answered prayer to you wanting to start seeking out that information on your pension plan. You're getting some really good, advice or wisdom from some sort of financial advisor, or you figuring out on your own a really great way to go about that pension. Yeah. You guys, Amanda talked about saving in the collective, and wait, am I confusing this? IS2G. I've been thinking the same thing, retirement specifically, very recently. Wow. So maybe that was even a message there was maybe a message in there for others of you other than just Get to Leka. I mean, the fact that we are all connected, the fabric of humanity, we are all connected. Oh, swear to God. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, as the fact that we are all so, connected, one person's personal reading could also resonate with anyone else listening in, because your attention is literally being paid here right now. Energetically speaking, you're paying attention. So there could also be a message in someone else's personal reading for you. I've said it so many times. Like Ethan, he'll be here a lot of times being a mod, and he'll be like, oh my gosh, I so resonate with this. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, and I was talking about in the collective, like I need to figure out my long-term financial game plan, because I'm almost 41 years old, and I've never had a credit card. I've never had to take out a loan on anything by myself. Yeah, Spirit shows us that is so true. Oh my gosh. I love it. Well, I hope that resonated for you, Get to Leka. I think that's great wisdom for all of us, but definitely directed personally for you, Get to Leka, that you, start looking into that. Great to see you too, IT guy. I hope you're doing well as well. We did have a couple more donations come in, so let me update my list. So yes, Vicky. So Jamie, and she's left her question over on PayPal. We'll start with you after I update my list and get a quick drink of water. Sorry again, I'm putting the backspace here, so if I'm shaking the camera, I do apologize. And then one card for Vicky and one card for Michelle Lynn. Vicky, one card. All right, almost there. That's our running list. Take another loud drink of my water bottle. Again, I think it has something to do with this little rubber piece here that gets clogged or water in it. I don't know. You guys hear it going. It's so annoying. And that's funny because maybe you guys can't even hear it, but I'm always talking about how loud my water bottle is. It's like, drink more water, drink more water. I know I'm drinking water like constantly, constantly. I love water. All right. So, all right. We have for Jamie, I'm going to go over because it cut off. So I'm going to go over my email and be able to read it a little clearer. For Jamie, hi. I'd love to hear specifically from my dad. What would he like to say to me? Yes, let's tune in. And yours is a full reading. So we're going to get into it. Okay. For Jamie, a message from her dad. I'm already getting like impressions. I don't know, something about cars or like because there's and I'm not at all close with my dad, but I get a different perspective for you and your dad. But when I think of my dad, I smell like paint. Like my dad owned an auto body shop. So it was Tim's Auto Body and Paint in Hayden Lake, Idaho in the late 70s through the early 90s and before he went back to school and became an electrician. So I don't know. Oh, he did love cards. Okay. So I don't know if I'm seeing that spiritually because that's what I associate with my dad or not, but I'm smelling like fresh car paint. And there's a difference between like wall paint and like acrylic paint and car paint. Car paint has a very distinct smell. So what that's telling me intuitively is he's sending you smells. So you might smell something randomly that reminds you of him, whether that's his cologne or that new car smell or the smell of paint or something. Specifically, I was seeing the colors red and gray. So I don't know if those colors mean anything specifically or if he had a red or a gray car. Oh, tobacco, that makes sense. But let's just see any specific messages. Yeah, he's showing me like brown hair. And he's coming to me. It's very funny because I don't think, at least the way he's showing me this, I don't think that he wore glasses in life, or if he did, he didn't like wearing them. But he's showing up to me right now wearing glasses and kind of being like I feel more prestigious, or I feel more, I don't know, on top of the world or something. He feels like, what's the word? Like redeemed. Like the word redemption is coming up. And I don't know if the glasses are more metaphorical or literal. Like sometimes when spirit shows up in that way, I don't know exactly what they're conveying. And I did in my head intend to connect only to your dad, not any false light entities pretending to be Jamie's dad. It is her dad only that we are connecting to. Ooh, I got major chills now. Yeah, he's really coming in strong. So let's see. Any messages specifically for Jamie? Well, we have the Lovers in reverse. And I was not, yeah, I wasn't shuffling that upside down, but this came out in reverse. So maybe you're, it's very funny. It's like you're dragging your feet on making a major decision. Could even be something to do with your love life. Oh, he had red hair. I love that. Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah, it's funny because it's like, I don't know if, and I don't know, he doesn't seem that old when he passed away, but I don't know if when he got older, it started to look a little more brown. Because he's showing up with more brown hair, kind of. But yeah, 32. Interesting. So I don't know if his hair was like red like mine. But as I've gotten older, my hair's gotten darker. So maybe that could be the indication of more brown kind of looking, like sandy even, like at the temples or like behind. Like I don't know if you can tell on camera, but like I've got a natural blonde, kind of strawberry blonde streak right here. I don't know if you can see it. But that's always been there for me. So I don't know if he had a patch of hair that was maybe slightly differently colored than the rest. Yeah. Oh, I did say red. Yeah, red and gray. Very interesting. But let's see. Yeah, there might be a decision you've kind of drug your feet on making. Could be in your love life, but also it could be, just life in general. Making decisions with your, significant other, Mickey, in general. But let's see if we can get any more information about what Jamie's been dragging her feet on in this decision. Ooh, 7 of Swords, feeling betrayed in some way. And this doesn't necessarily have to be by Mickey or anything. In fact, very interesting how we're doing a reading about your father, and then Mickey's father lives with you guys. Feeling just a little bit betrayed, or almost at times like Mickey might be choosing his dad over you and the family. And if that doesn't resonate, you don't have to claim it. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with it, is sometimes feeling like taking a back seat to that, or like just wishing that you meant a little more. I mean, not that you don't mean more to him, but wishing that he showed that you meant a little more to him by having a better living situation. I guess that we would put it that way. To be really polite, we'll put it that way. But let's see if there's anything else Jamie's dad wants her to know. That happened kind of yesterday. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Because it's not like all out, I believe my dad over you, or I choose my dad over you. It's just very subtle things that it almost just feels, it's not like a spoken thing, but it just almost feels like he's choosing his dad over you in certain ways. I don't know. But look, we get the victory here. So eventually that dynamic is going to shift to where you're going to be victorious in that regard, to where he's not seemingly blatantly choosing his dad over you and the family, or, taking his dad's word and what his dad wants at a higher weight than what you want, if that makes sense. But you're getting victory. So, I would say don't have like an all out battle about it, but eventually things will start shifting to where you're winning more of the weight in the regard of Mickey selecting his father or you. Gonna start really going in your direction more. Let's just see anything else Jamie's dad has for her life and anything else. Yeah, but it might just have to be you speaking your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts about, when you do this, and it's like you take your dad's side over mine, and sometimes just explaining, because to me, this doesn't feel like he's purposely doing it, and you just saying, when you listen to your dad, or your dad suggests something and you just jump and do it, but yet when I say something, it's like crickets. It's like you just kind of speaking your truth about it will help shift things to be more fair and balanced in your direction as well. Yes, I see it already. We talked a lot yesterday and I've been feeling much better today. I'm so glad. Yeah. So this to me does feel like, talking it out really did lead to you feeling a lot better for sure. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles. This is like the antithesis, or I don't even know that I'm using the right word there. Like the that's not the word I want for what I'm trying to say. The epitome. That's the word I'm looking for. Not antithesis. No. Epitome of like mom, wife, doing things around the home, but also possibly finding an income stream of your own that's going to bring you happiness. But follow the white rabbit, go down some rabbit holes, do some research, figuring out what you want to do, how you want to bring this money, this abundance, because she's the most abundant of the 4 suits of queens. Next to the Empress, she's the next most abundant feminine energy in the deck. So this is letting me know that you're at least very seriously thinking about making some moves in your financial future. So that makes a lot of sense with the communication we had earlier. And with the Queen of Swords, this is speaking it into being, really working on your own, like reprogramming of your subconscious about how you do contribute to the household, much like I've been doing. I'm going to start probably this weekend writing out my new script for subliminals, just for my, financial independence, just as it with the feminine energy underlying it. So yeah, maybe I'll produce it well enough that I can, put it on my website or something for everybody to utilize if they want it. But yeah, speaking those things into being and then grounding them in the physical reality is so important. Let's just see. I'm gonna get a couple more. And I'm being pulled to that deck as well. Yeah, more with the finances, feeling like you're not pulling your financial weight. And again, Jamie, not that you need to or really should have to right now, because I think most of what your time, money, effort, and resources go to are your children, which I think is exactly where not you need to do this or that, or you should do this or that, but where your heart is with, raising your children the way you want them raised. And also still on the side, being able to financially contribute in a way, but also, financial contribution isn't the only contribution you're giving. I know it probably seems like the highest epitome of what, we as mothers and women can do for our families, but really us doing the cooking, the cleaning, the diaper changing, the feeding of the children, and all the, all the mundane, quote unquote housewife things, or work at home mom things that we do. That is like a currency, because if we weren't doing them, someone else A would have to do them, or B hire someone else to do them. So we are maybe not getting an income for what we do, but we are still very much a part of how the household works. But again, the way this whole system is set up is like, if you're not financially contributing, then you're worthless, you're trash, you're, not that they come right out and say it in those words, but we as moms a lot of times can feel like, oh, I'm financially codependent, or I need to do this. And it's not like we need to do these things to prove anything to anybody, but it's just, I know for me and probably for you as well, we have this way that we want to show the world our worth, not just in what we do, but what we also can contribute in other ways. So like I'm totally seeing how this is coming into play, and not feeling financially worthy right now, quite possibly. Yeah, the mom spiel is such a big thing. And if I could give this spiel and the one that we kind of got in your last reading to like the past version of me that was in the thick of stay at home, work at home mom vibes, I needed that at the time. I so needed it. But let's just see anything else Jamie's dad has for her. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to this deck before we close out. Anything else at all. Look at this. Merlin with cosmic knowledge. So that's another way you're contributing, is with your cosmic knowledge. Just knowing better and then doing better. Working with the systems that are in place, but finding ways to, be in the world but not of it, be in the systems but not of it, right? So you're finding your own special way to contribute financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and just with all the ways that you be a mother and a wife, energy, and the homemaker kind of vibe, mixed with any side hustles or businesses that you want to create. Of course, some of your time and attention is going to have to split off from the family and the home dynamic to go to that. So especially if you've had people telling you need to financially contribute, then they're going to have to pick up some of the household duties if you're going to be able to do that, because you can't do everything. I know they think moms are like invincible and can just do anything and everything, but like we need downtime too. We need a break too. But yeah, so much. Well, I hope that resonated. Yeah, you're bringing a lot of wisdom to the table, and just intuition, just knowing what moves to make and when. And even if, like, kind of we started, your dad saying maybe just dragging your feet on making a decision, maybe it's just because it's not quite time for all of this to happen, but it will be time at some point. It will. So don't beat yourself up if you're not where you want to be now and contributing the way you want to be now, because eventually you will be. It's just now maybe not the season of life to go all in. And because again, we only have that pie chart of 24 hours in a day, and I would even argue that it feels like closer to 16 in my like personal just thoughts. It's like we have more of a 16-hour day, instead of a 24-hour day. Just the way it feels to me, like time has sped up so much. Even if you're looking at the clock ticking like it would be 24 hours in a day, I don't know, maybe it's just me that feels like time has seriously sped up since like 2012, but specifically since 2016, it's just been like, goodbye. Oh, it's 2017. Oh, it's 2019. Oh, it's 2023 now. Like, what? It was 2016 5 minutes ago. How is it 2023? So yeah, I'm a firm believer that time is being messed with in a way. And we all say in the spiritual community, time is an illusion, but it's not. I mean, it is obviously, but it's not when we're in the construct. It is so our taskmaster when we're in the construct. It's a very Saturn energy when we're in the construct, When you're in the meat suit, time is not an illusion, but yet time is an illusion. It's so hard to wrap our little human minds around it. But we have that cosmic knowledge that just came out, that Merlin energy. You have the cosmic knowledge that realizes time is an illusion, and the human knowledge that still says time's marching on. With or without us, here it goes. All right. Oh, having your moon in Capricorn is why you're always thinking about business, It could be because that rules the natural 10th house of business. Well, 7th house is also business, but 10th house is career-oriented energy, putting that there. And I know Capricorn also has a similar vibe, whatever house it falls in a person's natal chart. You kind of carry this element of wanting to do business because your moon is there. So your mind is constantly thinking of ways to make money or monetize a handmade thing that you have, or a craft or a hobby, or a wherever Capricorn is in your chart, whatever house, your mind is constantly on how can I maximize my effect with this thing, or how can I make money from this? Very funny because I'm seeing you like setting up a lemonade stand as a child, or being like a child entrepreneur wanting to sell things to the neighbors to make money. They're showing me, there's so much of what they're showing me with my childhood that really is like your message. Because we had this big clay deposit in our garden, and we would dig the clay out. We never fired it like real or anything, but we would make these clay ashtrays for our neighbor, and he'd pay us top dollar. And I think in the back of my mind, I knew eventually he'd just be throwing them away, but like that was so nice of him to like indulge my little entrepreneurial spirit and like buy like a five, like back in the day, $5. Do you know how much stuff that bought? So much more than it does now. And to spend, 2 hours of my life crafting just perfectly this ashtray for the neighbor guy, and he'd pay us money. And it was so sweet. But yeah, I see you like doing something very similar, Kool-Aid stands and babysitting, quite possibly, just trying to find ways to make money at a very young age. I can totally see that with you. Yes. Yeah, it was fun. We had so much fun. We'd even sell night crawlers to my stepdad and his friend. He'd pay us like, again, like $5 was like the magic ticket for me as a kid. It's like $5. Do you know how much candy that can buy me? Do you know I can sell a couple things for $5. Eventually, I can buy a new Nintendo game. Like, yeah, made things like wallets. Yeah, my friend he used to make like duct tape wallets and stuff, and those wallets were like heavy duty. Like you would have that thing forever because they just don't wear out. Yeah, that's awesome. So fun. So fun. Okay, so Michelle Lynn is next, and then I think that's just Sandy on my radar and Brianna. Let me update my list. I'm gonna go back up. So Michelle Lynn has a one card read, and then oh no, Vicky. Sorry, Vicky is first, then Michelle. So Vicky, go ahead, and I think you already have your question here. So Vicky, and then Michelle Lynn is on deck. Sorry, I'm deleting again. So wobbly camera. And then just Sandy and Brianna. And let me just double check because it kind of cut off the names. I'm just going to make sure that was Sandy and Brianna. Although I don't think they would mind a free reading. Nope, it was Sandy and Brianna. Okay, perfect. So Vicky's next question. Throughout my job search and moving forward, I will most likely need a reference from my current employer. However, I'm worried to ask my boss in case she says anything negative to future employers that could jeopardize my opportunities. For example, she may be hostile that I didn't go through with the PhD. Can I please ask Spirit, is it safe to ask her? I'm already seeing that yes, it is, because to me, what's coming through is she's got a pretty high moral compass, which will work in your favor. Because if someone like just bitter, like, oh, well, I'll show her, I'm not going to give her a good reference because she didn't stay in the PhD. Even if she kind of comes off that way, like with her personality, I think deep down she's somebody who wants to do the right thing. So I think you're going to be fine. But I would even say, if you want to like fact check everything when you do you give her as a reference and then you go to a job interview, just say, I gave my current boss as a reference, and I hope she's given me a good review because maybe just being honest and saying, I can't do the PhD program right now for, you don't even have to give a reason, but you can say, for financial reasons or whatever. So I just hope her opinion doesn't be colored by that. You could just be real transparent in that way and just, speak your concern out loud if you want to. That's one way you could do it. But I just really do feel she's going to be, the task at hand is how are you as an employee? I think she will give a honest review of your skills and abilities and, just how you show up as an employee without being bitter or mad that you dropped out of the PhD program. So I think you're already, I really do feel you're going to be in a good place with that. But let's just get some cards on it. Vicky applying, is her current employer going to give a good review? Yeah, she's really in tune with her moral compass for sure with the temperance energy. This is someone who's following the guidance of their higher self and doing the right thing. So I would say very balanced person as far as their morals and, not creating any undue stress for you to feel like she's going to backstab you or, get bitter because you dropped out and use it against you in some way. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on my clock as I'm saying that. So 12:34, and it just turned to 12:35. So it's almost like all the proper steps are taken and things are lining up in the proper order and going off pretty smoothly for you. So let's see anything else Vicky needs to know about applying and this reference from her current employer. Well, look what came out upside down. 5 of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold. I don't think this is going to be anything you worry about, because when it's upright, yeah, maybe worrying about it, feeling like she's going to shut you out or, put you down in some way that this other potential employers are going to be like, yeah, we don't need her. But the fact it came out this way is I don't think she's going to do that. You're not going to be left out in the cold. You're going to be welcomed into this sanctuary with open arms when it's in reverse. So any lack here is just your own feeling about it. It's not anything that's actually happening. So yay. Let's get one from this card, this deck. Have a good one. Time for the mom duties for Jamie. So we had address your addictions, but again, that came out in reverse. Am I just shuffling everything in reverse today? What am I doing? But I saw here everything in moderation, go for your dreams as well. But because address your addictions is in reverse, again, I think any thought that someone's going to sabotage your future job employment, I think is more of an internal fear than an actual reality for you, if that makes sense. So that's how I'm really reading that energy. Let's just get one more word of information or advice or wisdom for Vicky on this job hunt and the reference from the boss. Anything she needs to know. Yeah, look, better than you can imagine. It's going to turn out way better than you can imagine. So I wouldn't put too much time or effort worrying that she's going to sabotage things for you because she's bitter about you dropping out of the program. I would just, focus on getting the job and, yeah, look, as I'm trying to put these away, opportunities knocking on your door. Look at that. And, the woodpeckers, they will dig into the wood to get the insects. And look, there's a big juicy insect, a big juicy opportunity for that woodpecker to just yum. And it's a bumblebee. So looking up the symbolism, spirit animal of the bumblebee and the woodpecker, that could bring you some guidance on your job search. And also the dragonfly, because we got one there too. Yeah. All right. So I hope that resonated. That's good news. I didn't see anything to worry about except maybe your own, feelings of inadequacy or, sabotage on someone else's part for you, which isn't actually a reality. So yay. Love to see it. That's the best news we could get, is that she's going to do the right thing, because I think your skills and abilities are up there, and she would not be doing anyone a service by trying to keep that suppressed in any way. Okay. All right. So up next, we have Michelle Lynn, 1 card read, and then just Sandy full read and Brianna full read. Oh, I forgot to take Vicky off the list, but we get the drift. And Michelle, I think, had posted her question in comments, or in PayPal, I should say. There we are. Let me update my list. Okay. Oh, hello, Naveed. I already did the free collective reading at the beginning. It's about the first 46 minutes. I kind of went off on financial things and all of that. But if you want to check out the free collective reading, you might find some inspiration or insight in that if you would like to. Otherwise, you can send a donation for me to directly answer your question. I can totally add you to the list if you would like to do that. Okay, so let's see if Michelle, no, she didn't put her question over there, but she will probably be here to post her questions. So let me delete the first list I put here. We don't need duplicates. Oh, it's posted above. Okay, thanks for letting me know. There it is. Will my lifestyle change in the next few weeks? I will soon get my gut tested with results from, gut test results. Okay, I cannot speak. With my holistic coach, and I already know I'll have to make some changes, and I'm curious what it will look like. I'm already seeing a lot more motivation, and again, Mars is direct today, and I think that's going to play a major role in helping you, even when you get maybe some not the best news, like I got to cut this food out or that out. You're going to be taking it in stride, like, oh, that sucks, I got to cut back on this or that, but let's do it. Let's see how this can improve my life and my motivation and just passion. Yeah. So I'm already seeing Mars playing a good role in helping things move forward. And as far as uh, specifically addressing your question of your lifestyle changing in the next few weeks, um, and just wanting to know that you will have to make some changes, and just curious what this will look like. Her lifestyle changing, Michelle Lynn. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. So yes, it's going to be an opportunity to make those changes. Absolutely. But again, I'm feeling like maybe at first you might have a day where you're just like, ugh, okay, whatever. And you make those changes. But then again, you're just going to start to gain some momentum. Like, yeah, it's not that bad. I can do this. And it's almost like that faking it till you make it, which I usually hate that term or that, analogy. It's not an analogy, but it's a saying, I guess. I usually hate that saying because really we can't fake anything that isn't authentically us. I mean, people fake all the time, but anything that's authentically us, we don't technically even need to fake it. We just sometimes need to dig down deep and find it. It's already there. So we're not really faking anything. We're just digging down. So I don't think you're going to have to dig down too far to be able to have to fake it. Well, there you go. Fake it for too long because you're going to start to gain the momentum and motivation as you go. No, Cheyenne, we're still here. We're still here to play. Oh, you used to be motivated in depression really has just sucked the life out of me. I'm paying a lot of money, so I hope I can stick it to it. Yeah. And, they, for years, and I would have to send you this thing that I think it's still in my little playlist here. I do have your email, Michelle. I'm going to email you this. It's basically saying how fraudulent a lot of the like stuff on depression was. It was basically just a series or panel of psychologists, psychiatrists coming together to agree to a certain standard that depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain, and there's no actual scientific proof of that. And if anything, it's actually proven that your gut health affects your a lot of the brain levels with serotonin and oxytocin and there's another one, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins. There's another one that starts with a D that I can't think of right now. But a lot of how we feel, in our minds and with our brain chemistry is actually to do with the other brain. Dopamine, there it is. I knew it was a D. Yes, a lot of that actually comes from triggers from your gut to the brain. So when you can get your gut health in, and again, it's difficult. It's nuanced. We can't just, pick a magic, health plan or nutrition plan out of the clouds and hope it'll work for us because each body is different. So each body's going to need different nutrients and different amounts of nutrients. And it's like a big mind cluster F a bit that, a lot of times people will go off their blood type and try to find a diet that really fits their blood type. And certain blood types will do really well with certain diets and other blood types will do really bad on that same diet. So it's all about, really utilizing your intuition, which funny enough is also affected by your gut health. So when you can improve your gut health, you can improve so many areas of life. It's your hormonal balance as well. And, there's different hormones in just the sexual hormones of like testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. And I don't know like a lot of the scientific stuff behind it, but like, diabetes is like a metabolic kind of illness, I guess you could call it. And so is like having the thyroid and the different hormones that affect that and the endocrine system. I mean, it's a whole thing. Yeah. And if your sleep has been off too, and a lot of times people's sleep can be off around the full moon because that's when the parasite activity really amps up. They're laying their eggs in our brains and our stomachs and our intestines. It's disgusting. But when my mom was a kid, they used to take pills to, detox from parasites all the time. We do it for our, when puppies or kittens are born, they get a little pill to get rid of all the worms, parasites. But we as humans don't really do that. And we probably should be, detoxing and purging the parasites that make us crave these things, that get our gut health out of balance. It's like a whole cycle. And it's like, where do I even start? Which domino should fall first? I don't even know. She'll recommend you supplements. Okay, yeah. And I would just say, trust, if you are paying good money and you are trusting her guidance, follow it and see if this works for you. but I see you're going to be able to, at the very least, feel like it was worthwhile because this is a wish fulfillment card. So these new inspirations you're guided to take, then following through and actually taking actions, because this is just the inspiration of the action. It's us, rolling up those sleeves, putting in the work to actually take the action that's going to lead you to your wish fulfillment. So, listening to what she's saying and, maybe even trusting your own intuition along the way can really help get that gut health in order, which will get pretty much everything else in your life in order. Maybe not your relationships and your job stuff and your that, but like your hormonal balances and maybe the mold issue you've been dealing with, detoxing, getting the gut health in order can help you start to do, I don't know, like different cleanses and detoxes of the body to really offload what's not needed. And then you'll start to really see those effects even in your relationships, even in the external world as well. Because as we fix all the crap going on inside, both metaphorically and literally, like in our body and in our energy, we can start to see that reflected. Because really, everything we see, taste, touch, and experience in this world is basically our past manifested. It's not our future. And if we want to see a different external and internal thing, we got to start making changes on the inside first. And then at a future now moment, the present moment in the future will be reflecting those past actions we've taken. Yeah. So I would say go for it. I would say you're on the right track, getting things figured out. And even too, this is a whole other layer to doing everything she's saying physically and treating your body certain ways physically, but also with your intention setting intentions every time you take the supplement, that it is doing everything and beyond what it's said to do to clear out anything that is not serving your body's equilibrium and perfect and divine balance. Set that intention every time you take that pill or every time you eat that food, whatever it is, because just me noticing, I mean, I'm not like, oh, let me brag, but like, guys, I'm getting some muscle back, just all working out and setting the intentions and stuff. Like, I'm not where I want to be as far as everything that I can feel on the inside. It's going to start reflecting on the outside, but the actions I'm taking now are going to start being reflected later. So it's kind of that grace period of waiting for what we're manifesting. But let's just see one more message for Michelle. Anything else she needs to know. But yeah, that hard work, setting the intention. It's not even that I feel like I'm working hard, but just me setting the intention that as I work out, it's only a 15-minute workout 3 days a week. That's all I'm doing. And I'm walking. I'm making sure I'm getting anywhere between 10,000 and 15,000 steps a day. And that's working to balance, but I'm also setting very clear intentions when I work out that my body's releasing trapped traumas, trapped emotions, parasites and heavy metals and just the things that aren't serving me. So I'm doing double or triple duty, setting intentions before I start working out. And sometimes I forget, and then like mid workout, I'm like, okay, my body's releasing trauma as I'm doing all this stuff. I don't do this, but I don't know what that was. But a lot of it, I just ordered some weights to start incorporating because I wanted to tone first and then start to build just a little. I don't want to be like a bodybuilder or anything, but I want to feel good and get rid of my little flappers here, Not that there's anything wrong with flappers. I think they're very cute on people, but I don't feel personally good when my flappers are out to play. They're already a lot less flappy. But again, I think it's a combination of setting the intention and then doing the physical acts of whatever it is you're being asked to do by your doctor that are really going to help bring things up for you. Yeah. Sacred boundaries. This, to me, this is setting intentions, and with the boundaries here for saying no to those things that are throwing off your gut health, that's going to be the key, along with your intentions, to get you where you want to be, or at the very least clear out enough that you feel like, wow, this was so worth it. So worth it. So yeah, in tandem with what you're already doing, set some intentions, because that's really going to amplify the work you're putting in physically. Okay. Yay. Exciting stuff. Okay. So we also had a donation come in from Cheyenne for a 1 card. Sorry, I'm moving the thing again. Hope no one's getting dizzy. Okay, you're so welcome. Absolutely. So just Sandy is next, and whatever spirit wants or has for Sandy, we're going to roll into it. Okay. It's funny, I said roll into it, and then I just saw someone rolling around in dog poop. Don't mean it like that, but maybe energetically and physically, that's how you've been feeling. Because when these messages come through, I take them at face value and sometimes beyond face value. So if you've been feeling like poop, Sandy, we're going to see what we can do to shift that. But let's just see whatever Sandy's true inner self, true source creator, and her true guides have for her today. Any false light entities pretending to be her guides, get on out of here with that. We are not entertaining that. All right, tuning into Sandy, whatever message Spirit has. Ooh, yeah, again, rolling around in dog poop, but the person had a smile on their face, like in my little analogy, or my little, not analogy, but like visualization that I got. But this person, I mean, clearly everything's not fine, but it's like, yeah, everything's fine. It's like a denial. So I don't know if you've been in denial about how bad something has gotten. Could even be physically, because I saw that person rolling around in poop. You're physically going to have to clean that off now, right? And hope to God you have some good perfume to cover up the smell, right? And I'm not saying you are, no. This is just metaphorically speaking, Sandy. I hope you're getting my humor here. But yeah, everything that you feel that you're basically barely holding on and trying to handle, trying to deal with, this is closing out for you very soon. Because when the Ten of Swords comes out, that lets you know that this is rock bottom. You can't go worse than this. So if you've been feeling decently good lately, then disregard. I mean, that means that part is in the past for you. So let's see. Anything else Sandy needs to know, especially having to do with this kind of starting to move ahead kind of energy we're already getting. Closing out the old, starting the new. Ooh, I love to see it. Woo! And then this one flew right off the top as well. And wow, because I already had something to say, and this just completely sends that point home. It's so weird because when I used to, even maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago when I'd read tarot, I'd have to, deal the cards, and I'd look at them for a really long time, and the messages would slowly pour in. And you see, like, I even deal on camera. You guys see me here on, for my pick of cards, and then you see me here on the live. It's like the cards come out, and it's just like, I download like 10 minutes worth of what I need to say like instantly. And I almost trip over my words trying to say it all so I don't forget what's coming through. But this was instant. And then this just, cherry on top. So let's get into this. So with the King of Wands energy, this is you taking back control of anything in your life that has felt out of control. And I will caveat that by saying we can never be 100% in control of everything in our whole life ever, because we are co-creating with what we are dealt. The literal cards were dealt with our birth chart. That kind of, cap that's put on our potential in this world is usually pretty well ironed out by the stars. So that kind of tells me in a way that some of, what we consider astrology and how things affect us, we know they affect us, absolutely. But what it tells me is that might be a matrix construct that is kind of capping us in a certain way, or kind of forcing us to experience certain things. It's not just all about soul contracts that, well, I signed up for this crap, so I might as well do it. It's my karma. I kind of almost beg to differ at this point. Yeah, I do believe that kind of what we put out comes back to us in some way. But I think there's more to it than that, with kind of just certain things that have to happen because we're in this matrix construct. But what I'm trying to get to for this is you taking back as much control or power over what you felt out of control or powerless with, whether this is your health or, certain relationships that have not been going the way you want them to, or, finances coming in, whatever it is you've been stressing about mentally is what this is talking about. You may start stressing about it again. And then you just kind of step back from the stress and observe, like, okay, I'm stressing about money right now, or I'm stressing about this relationship right now. What is this trying to show me? And even if you don't get a clear answer about what that's trying to show you, sometimes just being in observation mode, just being neutral and just like, okay, I'm just going to feel what I'm feeling right now. Looking around, observing what's going on. Because it just might have been that, kind of like, I'm not saying you're delusional, Sandy, but sometimes, like, if you go back to the collective reading I did at the beginning, I've kind of deluded myself as an almost 41-year-old woman at this point. Well, not 41 yet, but almost in April. I've almost deluded myself that I can work outside the matrix my whole life. I don't need to, get in the financial system at all. And now as a almost 41-year-old, I'm like, but maybe I should, because I can work within the rules of the system, but also make that work for me in a way I need to. Basically, what I'm saying is I've never had a credit card. I don't even have credit that I know of. Like, so I've come to this conclusion for myself that I need to get financially like up to par with where I want to be in my life. So there might be something you're wanting financially or in a relationship or just in life in general, this sense of purpose that you're just kind of wanting to get it up to snuff for yourself. And kind of the fact of being in observation mode like we were tuning into earlier, you might have been very clear about what's going on in front of you, but there's something on the periphery, that spirit, that your own inner self is trying to offer you an opportunity for emotional fulfillment and happiness that you can't see, or maybe you've been choosing purposely to ignore. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably more that you've been so focused on just trying to keep it together that you haven't seen this bright, fresh opportunity, because it's a lot of work trying to balance all of this and just pretend, yeah, it's fine. I'll just keep going. Oh my gosh, I want to break down right now, but I got to keep going. But when we finally allow ourselves to break down or take that break or get that rest that we need, because this to me feels very physical for you, just getting some rest, really treating your body the best you can, is going to put that kind of peripheral vision on blast for you so that you can see that opportunity that's coming in, because it's right here as well. You're not going to be able to miss it after a while. So if you've been feeling very stuck, stagnant, and just, as you say, they're poopy with the whole thing that we got at the beginning, this is shifting for you. And I want to say by March, things are shifting. And March has been a month that just keeps coming up on repeat in my just awareness and my readings, that there's going to be a major energy shift for the better for so many people that I'm reading for and all my collective messages. So let's see what other additional messages are coming in for Sandy. Anything else Spirit and her inner self want her to know? Yeah, we have Ra, share your gift. And of course, it's very difficult to share your gifts with the world when you're feeling like you can't take one step out of line or all of this is going to come crashing down. So why would you be allowed to have fun and play and grow and, do all the fun things when all this is weighing down on you right now? But I think there's kind of a pause or a grace period between getting where this is, where you may be feeling right now, or maybe even recent past, taking some time to just have a breather, take care of yourself, tune back into your own inner self and, emotionally feel where you're feeling and what you're feeling. Then getting back to business of sharing your gifts with the world, sharing your light with the world, because right now, no one needs your gifts and your light more than you do. So this is giving yourself the gift of yourself right now, and maybe between now and March. Doesn't mean you have to completely take a break from every relationship and your work and your everything. No. But just make sure you're finding a decent enough balance that you can take a plenty of time here and there for you as well, to take care of you, to do the things that light you up emotionally. Even if you're feeling really blah and not sure what those things are anymore, just allowing yourself time to think about what could spark some happiness for you. Let's just see anything else Sandy needs to know. What's improving? I want to know what's improving for Sandy. What is this opportunity coming in that's improving for Sandy? We have staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. Yes. So Spirit is definitely stepping in. Maybe even people in your life have stepped in to help you through some difficult times. And you're very grateful. I can feel that gratitude. Let's just see anything else Sandy needs to know that's improving. We have the Wheel, indecisiveness and allowing life to ramble aimlessly. And that is such this energy. So that's improving. You're going to feel this sense of purpose and passion come right back into your life, but you're going to have to be the one to put your foot down and say, I'm taking my power back. That's what you're doing. So you're not going to ramble aimlessly or feel like you're wasting time or, what's the point? You're getting a point. You're getting a purpose to all of this. And it's coming from you. So you putting your foot down and saying enough is enough with just all the external noise and sadness and illness and depression and just everybody else's BS that's going on in the world and the news and the world and just everything. And just putting the pause on that and just really taking care of you for a while. That is what's going to really shift that, Wheel of Fortune back into your favor yet again, Sandy. So what a powerful reading. If it doesn't resonate yet, it just might be that this one has some legs on it that just needs some time to kind of marinate. You gotta what's the word? Ferment it, right? You gotta let it ferment for a minute. You don't know if you trust them. Yeah, I would take care of you for a while. That's what this is really showing, is just allowing yourself the time and effort and attention to take care of you for a while and see how far that gets you. But let's just pull a card on that. If this person is trustworthy, I don't see that they're outrightly untrustworthy, but if you're kind of having an intuition to not want to trust them fully, I'd say there's a reason for that. But let's just see. Let's just see. Tree, affairs with your family, especially if you're related to them or they consider you family, you consider them family. I would say just, follow your intuition on it. But let's just see what this person's true intentions are. We have arrow. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. So this person might feel like you're part of their purpose, if that makes sense. But I would say trust your own intuition. Again, I don't see that they have any outright nefarious agenda with you, but at the very least, your intuition might be picking up on something where they expect more from you than you're willing to give, or something like that. So I would just trust your gut on anything having to do with anyone, including yourself right now. So yeah, just honor that inner feeling. Oh, they adopted you. Well, that makes sense with the affairs with the family. Look at that. So again, I don't see any outright nefarious, agenda on their end, or, them wanting to do you ill will in any way. It's just maybe the arrangement would kind of turn a little sour, and maybe that's why your intuition's like, I don't know if I can trust this. It's not that you can't trust them. It's that maybe you can't quite trust the situation to provide you the best outcome, if that makes sense. And it's not to say that it never will. It's just maybe right now is the time for you to really double down on taking care of yourself and seeing what you even want to do in life and where you want to go and who you want to be when you grow up, Sandy, right? Because it's never too late to figure out what we want to be when we grow up. All right. Big hug, Sandy. Miss you. I hope you're doing well. All right. So Brianna is next, and then Cheyenne, and she's leaving her question there for future reference. That sounds great. Double check that we didn't have any others. No, we're still good. All right. So that is our running list. So Brianna is next, and I do declare, I think I have her reading here. Her question. We'll have her reading in a moment, but we do have her question. For Brianna. Okay. And this is a full reading, so I need a direct message from Mama Monica and my guardian angels that will recenter my focus on my goals and inform me of everything I need in order to maximize my now moments. I love it. Thank you. You are so welcome. Okay, so I'm already hearing, watch the collective that we did about the first 46 minutes. And because you can watch it on the replay, you can even 2 times speed that so you can get that information quicker. So you don't have to sit through me doing what I do. You can get to the point quicker that way. But we really touched on, Mars going direct and all of that, and how that's going to affect all of us in a really good way. So let's see for Brianna from her Mama Monica. We are only connecting to Mama Monica's true energy. No false light entities pretending to be Mama Monica. But she's so strong and powerful. She just hip checks those dark light or false light entities right out of the way from day one. Because the energy I tune in when I set that intention is the exact same energy that I tuned in from day one with Mama Monica. So she was showing up strong from day one, wasn't going to allow anyone to pretend to be her in any capacity. So let's see, any guidance and wisdom from Mama Monica and Brianna's true guides, her inner self, what she needs to know to get that motivation for her goals. And I want to read the last question as well. To recenter her focus on her goals and inform her of everything she needs in order to maximize her now moments. Well, I just saw the 7 of Pentacles. That's a patience message. So having a bit of patience as you maximize your focus on your goals. I see you doing it though, because look what's on the back of the deck. Your hard work will definitely pay off. It's just having that faith and trust, and then, the motivation to have the faith and trust in yourself, to take the action, to do the things to make that hard work pay off, because it will. Wow, Seven Pentacles that I saw came out again. But look, we've got so much potential here. It's just about taking the action and getting back out there or getting out there for the first time if this is a new thing that you're doing. But look, potential for a new opportunity. It's the decision you make from here. You've got the opportunity. It's already in your hand as that seed. Are you going to plant that seed or are you just going to sit there and look at it? Because that doesn't really do anything for anyone. Just cute. It's a little brown seed. It's cool. It's cool. But when you plant that seed, cover it with dirt, water it, do a little fertilizer here and there. It's funny because Mama Monica's showing me now my father-in-law's worm farm, and they make what's called worm tea. So you've got like the dirt and the stuff for the worms, and then you put like lettuce and other like kind of compostable like veggies and stuff. Certain veggies and fruits don't work, but others are great to put in, and then the worms will break that down and eat it, and then they'll do their little thing with their poop, right? And then that will kind of seep down to the bottom as like a liquid, and it's called a worm tea. I think there's probably a better term for it, but that's just what we call it, worm tea. And it's like the creme de la creme of like fertilizer for your house plants and your garden. It's like the best thing you can put on your plants. And so so Mama Monica's saying only the best for my baby. That's how she's coming through. And she's like only the best for my baby. So even if it's going to take you time to get this opportunity off the ground, to gain that focus and that motivation, momentum, it's almost like I did a remix there, like mo. And it's funny because it's like it's like more. Like there's more I have major chills. There's more that's coming for you than what you are expecting right now. But that all being said, it's going to take a bit of patience, a bit of laying that groundwork, doing the planning, getting all the duckies in the line, right? Get the ducks in a row. And it doesn't mean you can't take action right now, because there's absolutely action steps you can and probably should. That's more Mama Monica coming through than me trying to say anything. Like, you should be doing this, this, and this. But I think you already know what those are, Brianna. So use your intuition as to what you already know you probably should be doing as far as kind of getting back the focus and gaining that momentum toward your goals, because that opportunity is already with you. And there might even be other opportunities wanting to come in, multiple. Because what I see with this card is like diversifying income or having multiple streams of income in your life. So yeah, look at that. But then with the Two of Wands, this is about planning for the future as well. So you're taking action steps kind of in tandem with also making plans for the future. So it's like you're taking a step and planning for the future, planning and planning, taking a couple, three more steps, planning further out, taking a couple more steps, planning further out. So it's kind of a process that she's bringing forward that you don't have to do it all overnight. It doesn't all have to happen right now, but sometimes too, like, I'm sure you have a big goal, a big lofty and I would hope you have a lofty goal, not just some very easily attainable goal, because the bigger we can dream, the bigger we can accomplish said dream. And that whole saying, shoot for the stars or shoot for the moon, at least if you miss you'll be among the stars. But I almost see this as opposite, because the stars are so much farther away than the moon. But you shoot for the stars, and then if you land out there where the moon is, you've made it a pretty good far way. But that doesn't mean just because you've landed at the moon that you have to stop there. And even what I'm seeing too is sometimes our failures are our biggest teachers and our biggest areas where we can grow. I mean, my prime example that Mama Monica's showing me is the Done Creative. It just ground to a halt with the shadow banning over on the Done Creative with 22,000 and some subscribers. And so I knew about a year before it ground to a halt. I had just passed like 20,000 subscribers, and then it took another year to get just 2,000 more, because it was just slowly going into the graveyard of YouTube. And it took me like a year to be like, okay, yeah, this isn't working. I got to cut my losses. And at the time I'm like, well, I'll just have to walk away. Like, I didn't even, like, in my mind, I didn't even know that I had the option to just make a whole new channel. I thought that I had to give up on my dream completely and that was it. Graveyard, put the thing in the ground and bury it up. But because I did decide to put it in the graveyard, bury it, it was like a seed. I didn't realize it was a seed that was then my new channel, which, is still not really doing much, but it's something. It's better than what the Done Creative was. Even at less than 1,000 subscribers, I'm getting a lot more engagement than I was at 22,000 some subscribers. So even if you, maybe the fact I'm doing the YouTube example is because part of this is about your YouTube channel. Possibly, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, you don't have to. But yeah, there's an opportunity, and I don't know if even you've been throwing around the idea of having more than one channel. You might as well, right? Look, you might as well have one channel for one thing and another channel for another thing, even if they're very similar topics, like how I have my, Harmony Portal Tarot and then Harmony Portal Tarot Live. They're two very similar. I'm doing the same thing in both channels, but it's a completely different format. Live streams versus, uploading content is completely different. The way the algorithm reads it and the way that it puts out the alerts and things like that. So if you've been kind of struggling between should I do this or should I do that, why not do both? So why not do both? Again, it's going to take some patience and some planning to get where you need to be for that, but you're going to make it because you're continuing day after day to show up for your dreams. All right, what else does Mama Monica have for Brianna? Before we close out, what else does she have? Ooh, it's flipping and flying. Yeah. Wow. There's a coffin. I was just talking about burying my old channel, and just from that, what grew was a new channel. Wow. Yeah, she is on point today, that Mama Monica. But look, we have here the number 29 here, which adds up to an 11, which adds up to two opportunities, two channels, two something. Maybe you and a business partner, quite possibly as well, eventually, maybe. Who knows? Time will tell. But you're having some sort of breakthrough or epiphany, or, with your focus and your motivation, you're having the breakthrough you need. It's coming. Oh, she died on the 29th. Oh, wow. Wow. That's like double meaning right there. Wow. Wow. That is so interesting. What she's showing me is, not like she's showing me her like physical body, like in a grave or anything, but it's more metaphorical of, her passing away, almost acted like the phoenix energy for you to rise from her ashes is kind of how it feels. Wow. That's powerful. But if you look at certain people's birth charts, it's like the second their parent dies, it's like it puts them on a whole new realm in their career or in their marriage, or whatever houses are associated. Yes, it does. It did fertilize your soil. But what she's showing me, it's so beautiful, because she's showing me not just any little thing coming up from the depths of the dirt. She's showing me these beautiful, long, twisty, like vines of red roses. And I got major chills. But there's not just one rose. It's like there's so many roses that you can barely even see the greenery with the roses. And the thorns are just completely buried under all the roses. I mean, the roses are what stand out. It first showed like these like vines, like these brown vines coming out, and then like the greenery starts coming out, and then all the roses bloom so much you can't even see the vines or any of it, like blossoming. I love it. That's powerful. Let's just see any areas that Brianna can focus on to really get back in the game of her motivation and her goals. What areas can Brianna focus on to get back to motivation and her goals? Okay, so we have here scales. Keep your life in balance. So just finding more balance in life will help. Wow. Oh my gosh. Archway. New opportunities, possibilities, and pathways opening up. But look what's on the archway. It's like vines of roses. Stop it. I wasn't even going to grab this deck. What the heck? Wow. And it's like a gold paved road here. Look at that. Oh, you say man, oh man, and what I saw was M-O-M. Taking the first letter of each word you just said, M-O-M, man, oh man, mom. Wow. And then arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life, and there's the archway that's leading you down your path. Look at that. And wow, major, yes, time to get out of a situation with the pail. So there might be, again, the death of maybe a version of you, or something that's taking up a decent amount of your time or effort that's just not for you anymore, that you can close that cycle out or let that go, release it, whatever it is, to bring in more time to spend on the things that actually mean something for your life, for your future, for your growth, for you to grow from soil of your life. Wow. It, that one, she knocked that one right out of the park. Look at that. Wow. That was so powerful. I am so happy about that message for you. I'm glowing. It's so good. But she's coming through real strong. She's so proud of you. And then this was just sitting there. I didn't even pick it up to shuffle. So obviously it's your message. Number one, action leads to success. So even if you're not feeling motivated in this moment, still taking those little action steps, time after time, day by day, is going to lead you to that success. So even if you don't feel like doing it, sometimes you just do it, right? Sometimes you just gotta put those big girl panties on. I think it's like the third or fourth time I've said that on this live stream. And just do it. Big hugs to you, Brianna. She is with you. She is your biggest cheerleader. And of course, she's wearing the red cheerleading uniform. She loves that ruby red color. Love it. Oh, Katie has donated as well. All right, so I'm going to update my list right quick. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Cheyenne is next. And then Katie P will be right after that. Did I somehow skip Cheyenne? No, there it is. It's just buried beneath Katie's thing. Okay, so Cheyenne is next, which she's already posted. And she is here. She's here. And then Katie P will be next for a 1-card read as well. Okay. So Cheyenne and then Katie P. You are so welcome, Brianna. Big hugs to you. It's always a great pleasure to be channeling and bringing through Mama Monica. She is so fun. And I find that the days that she comes through in your readings, I just have the best, like I'm floating on cloud 9 the rest of the day. So thanks both of you for bringing her through. She's amazing. Yes, donation list. So Cheyenne and then Katie P for 1 card. I'm loving it. Okay, these readings have been so powerful today. I'm so excited. Okay, so going up to Cheyenne's question, which she left earlier. So I'm excited for my new job. Could have a short message on whether it may lead to something more permanent, please, as it's a 12-month contract. Okay, cool. Well, 12 months, I'd say that's pretty good. That's better than 6 weeks or, a month, or well, I guess 6 weeks and a month are pretty similar, or 6 months. So I would say a year. That's good. That's good. So yeah, let's see. Anything she needs to know. Anything Cheyenne needs to know about her new job. Too many. Get it right here. Okay, this one wants to come home. So yeah, this might lead to something else. So whether this contract gets extended more long-term than that, or because of this job, you learn about another job that is going to secure you and your abundance, because the Empress is the most abundant energy out there. Yeah, it's long. So at least it gives you some time to prepare and start looking and figuring out what you want to do, what you should do, all the fun things. But to me, this is very longevity oriented right here. The Empress energy is very, very Taurus to me. Just very grounded energy. So yeah, being able to create the life you want is here. So let's just see anything else she needs to know about this new job. Yeah. And look, this to me feels like a long-term thing, because there's an element of patience that's included with the 7 of Pentacles. And, think of a growing season, from, a 1-year cycle. That makes a lot of sense with the length of the contract. But let me go back up to your question to read the bottom part. Yeah, if this may lead to something more permanent, I'm pretty sure it's going to, because we've got the longevity and the patience here. Although the patience sometimes can be like I call it the P word. It's so scary, patience. Who wants to have more patience? But yeah, look, patience is going to lead you to something great. So either, and I feel really though, this position might be a jumping off point to another job or a more longer term contract that feels real good. This is part of your purpose and passion. And it's very interesting, might I add, what comes from the Empress with this card. If you were to get this in a love reading, I would say wrap it up unless you would like to have a child. But because this is a, career reading, maybe working with children, right? Or mothers that are, about to give birth, quite possibly. But I think for you, it's more of a, stepping stone to something that you want to have going on, having to do with children. But let's just see. if this job really is going to lead to the next job. Because I've already tuned in that it was gonna, but I want to get some clarification on maybe how it's gonna or anything you need to know. Wow. Um, well, we need two to tango to create the child. So look, but this also is a business card. It's a success card. So yeah, this job will lead you to success in another area, or or this job will become more long term than they are saying it is right now. They need you longer, the contract's extended, or becomes a permanent position. It could be that as well. But this is just you showing, what you got. Just showing up to work and, proving yourself. Not that you have to prove yourself, but it's like you're impressing people. You're impressing the right people that they don't want to let you go when that year ends. They definitely can't do that. They got to keep you. They'd have to extend the contract. So really, I would say there's two very likely potentials here. Either that this job is going to lead you to that new job, or this job is going to not want to let you go because they know a good thing when they see it and they can't let that go. Yeah, but I'm really leaning more toward this job being the stepping stone to your next job, that maybe someone you meet, or this job is somehow affiliated with something that's even better for you. That's really how I see it. Let's just see one more before we close out for Cheyenne and this job. It's very exciting. I've been on cloud nine though since Mama Monica was here, so maybe it's part of that. But yeah, this is you not having to settle. And I know that energy kind of came in for a minute there at the end of 2022 that, just take something, just settle. And I don't think you really are settling in this job. To me, it feels like a decent fit. It might not be your dream job, the end all be all of what you want to do, but at the very least, it doesn't feel like a settling energy to me. So for the next year that you're in this job, you'll feel decently good about it. You'll feel this sense of purpose, and you won't dread going to work. You'll be excited, or at the very least neutral to going to work, because you're not having to settle, and you shouldn't settle from here on out. And look, 43. So the number 43, that adds up to the 7 of the universal year 7 of 2023. So this is going to be a year where you're really setting those sacred boundaries and not accepting anything less. It's like you're raising your standards. Yeah, you got a pay raise. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. That's so exciting. And yeah, big congratulations on that. That feels so good. I knew you could do it. I had zero, like, oh no. Like I had faith the whole time that you were going to get this job. I didn't know exactly how, but I knew it was coming. And I tried to convey that in your readings, that it's coming. And you did your part in making this happen. So don't feel like it just was handed to you. You did your due diligence. You put the action in, and you did what you needed to do. So good on you. You did it. Oh, it's about kidneys and donors. And my mom needed a kidney before she died. Oh, well, maybe there's another, kind of layer to that mother energy of the Empress there. Very interesting. Yeah. Wow. I'm so sorry about your mom. But I love that this project is very close to your heart. That's amazing. Yeah. And that's where that Ace of Wands comes in, and you're feeling very purposeful in this position, even if it's not like the end of your career as far as you just want to be there forever, but at least you're feeling real good. And I got chills. So I think your mom maybe kind of somehow helped line this up, or there's something really amazing and beautiful you're learning on this project that is going to inspire you to be even better in your dream job. And look what's staring us in the face on the back. Your hard work is definitely paying off in this position, whether that looks like this is a longer term thing, or you're going, in a new direction, that this is acting as like really good on your resume, or just the things you learn here, you can really take to the streets on a new job. So it's so exciting. Yay, Cheyenne. What a good way to start the weekend on such a beautiful note here. I love it. All right. So KDP is next, and I think that's going to be my last reading today, unless someone sneaks in on the back end and donates without saying anything. Then I guess I'll take it. But yeah, I think I want to go have some lunch here in a minute. But yeah. Yay, that's so amazing, Cheyenne. And now that Mars is direct, I think that feeling for you is going to increase even more. I know it's already increased for me, because I know, like, Mars isn't even really in that forward momentum yet, but just the easing of it going in retrograde has, this last week, it's starting to slow down and then go station to be direct. has been a game changer just for my own energy and just even people in my life. I've seen a lifting of their collective heaviness that's just been on so many of us. All right, Katie P, let's get into your reading, my dear. Will Jordan reach out to me first? Just don't get what's going on. Yeah, let's get a card on if he'll reach out first, and then just tune into his energy and see what's going on for him and the connection. So will he reach out first? I think he might. But it's been interesting because there's always such a feminine energy with this card for me. And specifically because we're using the modern witch, it's all feminine energies. This might be that you would have to be the one. I want to get a clarifier on it just to know. Yeah, I think whatever you're wishing, maybe that he, this is like wish fulfillment. And then when the devil clarifies it, it's like what you wish may not be what actually happens. So you might have to be the one to reach out for him. Yeah. So I would say if you want to hear from him, you will probably have to be the first one to do some talking about it. But let's just see what's going on. Because, yeah, it's confusing energy. Very Seven of Cups energy. Yeah, the Tower, Five of Pentacles, feeling left out. And to me, this is your energy. Like, what the heck? Like, just respond to me or let me know what's going on. Cut your losses if that's what you want to do. Just say something. And then with the Tower, I think he's just going through some really tough times. Depression, like mentally specifically. With the Five of Pentacles, if this is coming out with his energy too, though, this could be him really worried about money or having some sort of big payment or debt that he has to pay off that he doesn't have the money for. So I don't know if you know his like financial status, if he's worried about money in any way or he can't pay for something that he's kind of past due on. Like this is like a past due notice with this combination. Maybe even his stress of worrying about being able to create the kind of future he always dreamed of is here because he's financially not in a great place right now. I'm even seeing like a traffic ticket or like speeding, like on the freeway or on the highway. Like he got pulled over speeding, got a pretty hefty, like expensive speeding ticket that he's just like, why would I have to pay for that? I mean, that may be more metaphorical than literal, but like could be like a bill that came out of nowhere. Like that's how I would, I guess, interpret that. But he may literally have been pulled over for speeding. I mean, we just never know. But to me, it feels like a bill that comes out of nowhere. That's a ticket you have to pay that you weren't expecting. Like when you woke up that morning that, oh, I'm going to pay a $400 traffic ticket, or I don't know how expensive they are. I haven't had one in years, but thank God, knock on wood. Right. But I don't do a lot of like speeding or anything. I'll catch myself going about 5 over once in a while, but yeah, I try to be a good citizen. But let's see anything else that's going on in Jordan's energy that we can tune into for Katie. Yeah, he's feeling very brokenhearted about something. I mean, none of these are good energies at all together. This one on its own can be fine. This one on its own, turn that frown upside down, sure. But it's weird because this was the first one to come out and I wasn't sensing that it was all rainbows, roses, and butterflies like this card normally says it is. I knew there was something lurking beneath the surface. So he's heartbroken about something. But do you think he will text first? It's important, feels like. Yeah, I don't know that he will. He's so preoccupied by all of this disaster that I don't even know that he's thinking about it. And not to say that you're not important to him. I don't mean it like that, but it's like kind of the dumpster fire that is his life right now is kind of taking it's kind of like there's a comedian named Jim Gaffigan, and he had like 5 kids or 4 kids, and then his wife had a baby. He goes, you want to know what adding a 5th child to your family is like? Imagine you're drowning and someone hands you a baby. Like energetically, that's how he feels. It's like, I can't text anyone right now because I'm literally drowning in whatever's going on for him personally. And it could be many different things. It might not just be one area of life he's worried about. It could be maybe someone in his family's health. I'm picking that up, or just worried about the health of someone in the family. It may not be actually happening, but he's worried about it. Financial worries, maybe even worries around his home, his house, wherever he lives, the people he lives with, something going on with that. Feeling like he's got to stand up for himself or defend himself to someone, feeling heartbroken. There's a lot of sad and heavy energy here. But, with Mars going direct, Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, which rules the devil card. So maybe as Mars goes direct, which happens today and then the week leading up, Things might shift for him. Let's just see if this tough energy he's dealing with, that Jordan's dealing with, is going to shift to where he will start thinking of Katie and he will reach out. Let's just see if that's a potential in the next month. It could be. It could be, because this is a card of communication and just blatantly speaking the truth. But that being said, if he does reach out, it might not be what you want to hear. Because the Queen of Swords, she's got a sharp tongue, and sometimes it can hurt. So if he is the first one to reach out, it might be something you don't want to hear. Or maybe he's saying all this that's going on, and it's not, I miss you. And he's just instead like, yeah, hi, well, blah, 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 this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And not really talking about your relationship if you do hear from him first. So kind of a, no pun intended, but kind of a double-edged sword to that. So let's just see if it's in Katie's best interest to reach out to him first. Yeah, if you want to hear from him, you're probably going to have to be the one to do it first, I would say. So if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to him, you might be waiting a while, because he's got a lot going on here. Not to say he never will reach out. It just might take him a long time, past a month from now. That's a long time to me. For you, if you're waiting on news from someone you're not hearing from, a month is a long dang time. So I would just say, if you want to communicate with him, you're going to have to be the one to reach out first. Yeah, that's how it's playing out, at least in the current situations he's going through. Pick all these ones up that I just dropped. Yeah, he knows you're sick. Aw. Well, big hugs to you, Katie. I'm sorry you're dealing with all this. It's not fun. I know it's not fun for you, but it's also not fun for him. So I don't think he's just sitting there laughing, on the other side of his phone like, I showed her. I think he legit is just really stressed out about a lot of other things in life. Yeah, you would think he would check in on you, but I think he's got so much going on mentally, even physically, and just worried about people in his life. Maybe his financial situation isn't great right now, and that's really taking like front and center stage for him right now. But I really do hope things improve, and if he does reach out and that it's something you do want to hear, that would be awesome. But if he does reach out first, I don't think it's going to be him, giving you, telling you everything you want to hear. It might just be him really focused on himself and what he's got going on, and him talking to you about that, then instead of the relationship, if that makes sense. So big hugs, Katie. That can't be easy to be waiting around, but it is what it is. And hopefully something shifts either in your energy or his energy soon, that you get a more concrete answer as to what's going on here and what your next steps are, if that makes sense. Because I don't want you to have to sit around and wait for him to get his ish together and text you and contact you. That's not fair to you either, to just sit around and wait for him to show back up in your life. So I would say my words, just for me, not even using intuition, but just personally, I would, if I were you, just really focus on the things that bring you joy and the connections that you have, those, good emotional ties with, your family, your friends, your children, if you have them, and, putting your focus on those committed relationships. And a lot of times when we start to even put the focus on ourselves and the committed relationship we're in with ourselves, that we completely blatantly ignore, usually a lot of us through our early 20s and into our even 30s for some of us. But then once we start paying attention to that connection to ourselves, it improves every other connection outside of us, because we're one half of every one of those connections as well. So if you start doing your own inner healing and your own self-development and work on yourself, if there is that connection with you and him, he'll start feeling that and start feeling you pull away toward yourself. And maybe that'll be the tipping point for him to start to reach out to you. But I don't want you to work on yourself with the agenda of trying to have him come back to you. I want you to work on yourself for yourself, if that makes sense. I want you, Katie, to do it for you, because you deserve it, and you don't deserve anything less than 100% of your love, your time, your effort, and your attention. So big hugs, big hugs. All right, you guys, well, that's going to do it for me. I will be back here on Wednesday. But if you would like to see what's next, what's ahead for you, I posted a new pick a card reading this morning over on Harmony Portal Tarot, linked below. And yeah, that one's available to you. We also have the January pick a card, The February pick a card is coming out on Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that. Bolo, be on the lookout. What other ones have I uploaded recently? Oh, there's a good news pick a card reading for what is also coming your way. But more specifically with the good news pick a card, to me, that the good news pick a card I filmed recently and then the what's ahead for you, they're almost like extended readings of each other. So I think they, to pick a pile or whatever in one and then another, it gives you a really well-rounded reading on what's ahead for you. At least that's how I did it. And I'm like, wow, this blows my mind with how accurate it was, even for me, to allow a random number generator to pick my piles in each of those and how accurate it was for my life. I loved it. Big hugs, everybody, and I will see you next time. But thanks again so much for all your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and your donations. And I will see you and you and you and you and you, all of you, back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live at a later time. All right, you guys, bye. Always push end stream, and then it's like that awkward silence before it actually ends. All right, you guys, bye.